Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about male fashion.
And therapeutically necessary group marital counseling.
What could be better for your relationship than hearing from your peers? This week, we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episodes 7 to 9. And a little housekeeping before we dive in. If you missed our earlier coverage of Love Island USA and Married at First Sight, scroll back in the feed. We've had a very busy summer. Also, Rich Text is now on Patreon. So our latest episodes include recaps of the latest season of The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, featuring guest Tess Higgins, aka Reality Scholar, Allie Barthwell, and Bachelor in Retrospect co-hosts Carrie Rosen and Anne-Marie Navarre-Gill. All three episodes, I had a great time, even though this season of The Ultimatum was really dark and
Mhm.
alarming. So you can find those at patreon.com/richtext.
Just so busy, Claire.
It's been a lot of reality TV, Lee. You know what it's like. There's a lot happening. Um, okay, so let's go back to episode 7 before the group therapy session, all the way back to a more innocent time. Episode 7 starts with Adam making Marissa dinner while she sits on the counter looking hot. I do love when the guys make dinner for the women, but I was not super impressed with the grilled cheese that he made. It was very under-grilled.
Yeah, it wasn't crispy enough for my liking.
Yeah, it looked mostly like wet with butter. But she's like, "Great job, sweetie."
Yeah. Just more wine, please.
Keep the wine coming so I can eat this moist toast. She asks if they'd be married if they met in college, and he says, "I'd let you hit it for sure." And she doesn't love that. So
Mhm.
he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure we would." Of course they wouldn't. They've literally met before, so you
I
can't
know.
even
So
play
yeah,
this game.
yeah, we can't do that here because if you coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Right. You know what would have happened? You would have flirted with her and then let it slide and never met up with her because that's what happened.
Mhm.
Over dinner, he asks her if she's really full sending it in this relationship, or if she's just going along with him on things because she's nice and easygoing. And she admits that she's kind of just wanting to go along with things and see what he'll do.
Which is like the name of their relationship. It's kind of
Yeah.
they're just having fun. As
Mhm.
we find out in our therapy sessions, they're not really taking it as seriously as some of the other couples, but they have great chemistry. I feel like they're compatible, but yeah, there's not much, like, depth there.
There's definitely a compatibility if this is really what it's gonna be like in the sense of, like, he loves just getting to do whatever he wants spontaneously, and Marissa seems really tickled by that and is like, "Sure, jet skiing after breakfast, why not?" In 2 years, is she gonna feel the same way, or is she going to start having more opinions about their life, and are those going to conflict? Like, she
Mhm.
doesn't seem to wanna rock the boat right now, but down the line, maybe she won't wanna live under a tarp and go jet skiing every day, so
Yeah. She's not ready to rock the jet ski just yet, but I feel like they're gonna reach a point where that's not gonna be something she wants for her.
Right.
Like,
But, like, he sees everything as, like, an extreme sport. Like, he's like, "We're full sending it. Like, I'm not even gonna think about the consequences. I'm just gonna do whatever I want and say whatever I want and just, like, wear whatever I want and see what happens." And I'm like,
yeah.
"This is Adam, this is your wife,
Mhm.
okay? You have to this isn't
Crisp her grilled cheese.
you have to crisp for grilled cheese. Like, this isn't mountain biking, okay?" And then they have a group dinner. Everyone gets all gussied up, and they mostly look good. Adam is wearing a flat straw boater with bird feathers in the brim and a bright orange short set that's like groovy 70s retro florals
Yeah,
with an
what
orange base.
did we know he was this way with his fashion? Like, I feel like the first few episodes, we had no signs that this was,
Yeah,
like, he was a real thrifter, even enjoying keeping the tags on to
I know.
show you that he thrift.
I know. He's like, it's actually an identity, it's a lifestyle, it's a personal brand. Like you can tell that like there isn't this authenticity that comes through that's just like, I'm just a guy who dresses like this. It's more like he wants to kind of impress people that he's the kind of person who does
Mhm.
this, and that's where leaving the tag on comes in.
Mhm.
This particular outfit was very triggering for me because it looks like he's in, like, a Princeton a cappella group. Like, you're in costume, my dude.
Yeah.
Like
This is like my college a cappella groups, and we'd have theme
yeah,
concerts, like a pops concert or something.
exactly. But he's like, "You know what? I'm just gonna keep full sending it. I'm gonna lock in." And I guess that means breaking out your costume wardrobe for group events. Mecca and Belle are getting ready, and he's like complimenting her in her orange dress. And then he tells the camera that she has backed off, whereas he's showing more affection now. So he's actually showing more affection than her. And he's wondering, could this be because of the conversation where he told her she was more into him than he was into her?
Possibly
Huh.
Mecca. That could be it. Which he
It's
didn't realize,
possible.
like, how his words, like, affected their whole dynamic. I feel like he just said it and then immediately was like, "Wait a second, why is she acting so different now? What did I do?"
What effect did you think that was going to have?
A
You
bad
know?
one. A bad one.
A bad one if you want her to show more affection. Like, you're getting her to question every time she bids for affection from you. Courtney, meanwhile, is curling her hair and, like, pretty obviously burning it. You can see the smoke rising. It's so obvious that she ends up calling out. She's like, "I think I'm burning my hair."
Next,
It's
like
like
yeah.
and she just keeps doing it. Nick is watching from the bed, and she's joking like, "Oh, what are we gonna say to everyone? Are you gonna, like, ask the guys for advice on how to get me to be more physical while I'm right there?" Which is so funny because she's projecting, because this is sort of what she ends up doing
Mhm.
during the dinner is, like, bringing up their issues in a way that will embarrass him in front of the group.
Yes, because she just wants someone to validate her feelings that, like, she's not into him, it's clear,
Right.
but she wants other people to tell her why he's bad. That's why she's
Yeah.
not into him, which they can't, like
Right. Like, there's a difference between you're just not into him and there being something objectively alarming that other people are going to
Mhm.
call out on your behalf. Like, if he's fine, you're still allowed to not be into him, but that's a personal that's
Yeah, that's a
personal taste.
personal thing.
Yeah. Nick says he's actually totally fine with their pace, and she says she's like, just teasing." And he's like, "Okay." He tries to ask her about her past relationships to get a sense of how much physical touch she likes once she's a year in. Like, what's more of a baseline normal amount once you're fully in a relationship? It's almost like once he brings this up, she gets so defensive that she can't even fully hear his question,
Mhm.
because he's like, "If I bring up physical touch, it makes you feel like I want it now. So let's talk about once we're fully in it, what's your baseline so that we can tell, like, what that will look like for us." And she's like, "I'm not gonna make you wait a year for sex, Nick, okay? Like, who would do that? I'm not
I
gonna
would
do
never do
that."
that. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to see if you'd even, like, give me a kiss
Yeah.
in a few weeks," like
He's like, "If I'm someone who likes to hold hands walking down the street and you're never gonna do that, maybe we should talk about that during this period where
Mhm.
we're supposed to decide whether to be married." She clearly has just had, like, shitty relationships, and she says that she's never felt that deeply about her boyfriends in the past, except for one, this man that she was, like, obsessed with. It sounds like maybe her first boyfriend from other
Mhm.
conversations. She's like, "I was so obsessed with him that I let him cheat on me so that he would stay."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. It feels like her issue might go deeper and further back than that, but that would also be very formative.
Yes, and I feel like she said something about, sex in general, how it's not really, like, something that she's super passionate about, like, not
Mm.
or that's not something she's constantly craving or wanting.
And she's identified this, that she sees sex as something that she gives men so that they'll stay, instead of being something that she has, like, a natural sort of desire for. Um, I also thought it was interesting that later when they meet her family, she tells him not to hold her hand when they knock
Mhm.
on the door because they'll make fun of her. And I was like, "Ooh, I feel like that probably that dynamic in her family, even if it was very well-intentioned
Yeah.
and light, clearly had an effect of her feeling like it's sort of embarrassing or weird for her to be physically touching a man or her partner, like, she probably it's given her a self-consciousness about it that's probably also
And it
making
just
it hard
plays
for
in her
her.
head. Meanwhile, her family seemed very open to her dating Nick and being with
Yeah.
him, and they seem to like him. So maybe it's just things from her past or
I wonder if, like, there's a degree where things that happen when you're young with your family really stick in your
Mhm.
head, and, like, when she was 12, they're like, "Oh, Courtney has a boyfriend, that's funny." That stays with her, but for them, they're like, "Well, now she's 26 or whatever, it's totally normal for her to have a boyfriend," but
And
she's
holds
still
his
thinking of
hand.
how they
Yeah.
reacted, like, 15 years
I
ago,
was like, "They were at your wedding, sweetie." Like,
I think they know.
they know.
Um, she tells the camera that she just wants to be loved, and once he opens up and she gets to know him, the spark will just be there, and she can give him, like, the physical touch he needs. They leave for the party, and she jokes about how her lips are still crusty, and then she's like, "It's not like I kiss you with them anyway," and he says, "Too real."
It's oh, I do feel bad for Nick a bit in this partnership, but then I also find him to be very as they talk about, like, surface level. He's not really, like,
Yeah.
giving much. Like, I don't really know who he is, and we've seen him on a few reality shows.
Yeah.
So that's a
One hu
little concerning. I get her concerns for sure.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like they both he's coming across in a more, like, saintly way than maybe is totally fair because he's not really putting in maybe as much into it as he should, but then she kind of is sitting back and waiting for him to show her all of this, but why would he wanna open up and get deep with her when she is constantly criticizing and
Him.
mocking him? Like, the
Mhm.
whole culture of their relationship has become her reminding him that she's not attracted to him by
Yeah.
making these little dagger of a joke
Yeah, even when
to
he puts,
him.
like, his little chain necklace on and he's, like, feeling himself, he's like, "Oh, I like it, looks good."
Yeah,
I feel like he
she
just
doesn't.
wants a compliment and, you know.
Yeah. I It's not a dynamic that's serving either of them. Like, they're actually both there's this idea that Nick is very closed off, but in different ways, they're both very closed off, and they're
Yeah.
just, like, pushing each other away. The couples meet at a restaurant, and the experts sit in what looks like a boutique hotel lounge and watch them on a secret monitor.
Which I think the couples were like, "Do you think they'll be there? Are they gonna, like,
Yeah.
join us for dinner?" But no, they're not at dinner, but they are watching people.
Well, it's funny because then they're like, do you think that they realize we're watching?" And they're like, "No, I don't think they know." But then later at the couples therapy, they just talk about everything they observed, and
I
it's not a
know, I'm
thing.
like, "Did
When
they
did they find
know?"
out? It's not like Casa,
Yeah, like,
the
"We've been
Casa of
watching
live
you the
stream.
whole time."
I was waiting for the big reveal. So Paul, the first thing he notices is Adam wearing this absurd a cappella outfit with the boater hat. And Paul's like, "What is he wearing? Like, what is that?" And Dr. Lisa suggests that he's just not taking it seriously. Ding, ding, ding. And Paul says maybe he's trying to make a statement. Also, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, but, like, a statement of what? Like, "We're in college, bros." Like, I
I think the statement is, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." Like, the other couples come in and they're all like, "Whoa, what a wild outfit." And Adam is clearly so
he
pleased.
just loves it. He's like, "Yes, I knew you'd pay attention to me if I wore this. Everybody look
Yeah.
at me." Yeah.
Yeah. He's, like, telling them about the species of bird feathers in his hat and how he plays bird sounds from his jet ski, and everyone's like, "Whoa, you're such an
Whoa.
eccentric, that's wild."
Where's the piano?
I know, they gotta keep him away from pianos. Paul and Lisa describe this as him trying to control situations with his image and, like, his possessions, like the jet ski and the hat, instead of being open or curious. And I think we can also connect this to, like, not saying that he specifically is part of these communities, but, like, this is peacocking, which
Mm.
is original, like, pickup artist culture behavior, which is like wear the conversation piece, draw a lot of attention with your unusual outfit. It shows confidence, like it makes you the center of attention. You have something to talk to chicks about.
Yeah.
And that's quite literally what he's doing. Like when he's going to be in this group setting where he's going to be meeting people he doesn't know as much about, he wants to be the guy who gets the most attention by wearing the the kookiest outfit so that everyone will be all over him, and it works.
Every
Yeah.
time. They're like, "Oh, look at Adam's outfit." I'm
He pushes it a little too far with the group therapy, and they have to
Yeah.
check him. Nikki arrives alone. She claims that Shawn has a quote unquote work thing and will arrive late. But the experts and laypersons like myself immediately interpret this as we had a fight and he didn't want to come, and I'm not sure if he's coming.
Yeah, I left him outside on the sidewalk, and he's gonna take a few
Yeah.
laps because we were in a screaming match is what I was sensing.
Yeah. Like he had a work thing, sure. Nikki then admits that they had a fight during their double date with Belgely and Mecca the night before.
Yeah.
During the like, that's bad.
Which I'm like, "Wait, show us the clips. Like, I wanna see more of this double date."
I Did they not film it? I was really confused
It
by
was
this.
just, I guess, their own footage. I guess they
Right, we
give them
see a
time to
little
just
iPhone
be
footage.
out without cameras, which is oh my gosh.
I know, the freedom. I mean, they're together nonstop for so long. It's not like a show where the time together is really controlled. And that's why we often have these like makeup scenes and
Mhm.
like tell us about the argument you had before scenes. But like a double date with one of the other couples, you would think they would wanna,
Wanna film it.
yeah. But instead we get the Rashomon version from
Mhm.
everyone later. Shawn does eventually arrive, but he doesn't go to greet Nikki. The experts are pretty pleased with a lot of the other couples because they're always pleased when a couple looks beautiful together.
Mhm.
And then when they come in looking beautiful together, they're like, oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
look what we
Uh,
did.
Oh, we
We're
put those two beautiful faces next to each other and they're even more beautiful next to each other. We did that.
we did that.
And they are really pleased by Mecca and Belle. They note that she seems to adore Mecca, whereas he's more reluctant. They all sit down for dinner together, like a formal dinner. It's sort of like an engagement party
It
or
really is. They,
something.
like, have cocktails before, they walk
Yeah.
in.
And then there's a plate with food on it waiting at each of their seats. Adam and Marissa are asked about their marriage first. Basically, they all go around and grill each other
Yeah.
about their relationships. And Adam says they're absolutely vibing. He can be himself. Marissa says they're, quote, so funny when they're out in front of people riffing, which is such an interesting way to describe
I'm
your
like,
relationship.
I think you've been hanging out with Adam too much."
I know. Like, it's truly like we can take this show on the road.
Yeah.
Like, we're dynamite. Have you
"Do you
seen
see
us?
us? Give us the jet skis, and we will just bounce across the lake putting on riff shows together."
Yeah, it's true. Like, that is a frame on the relationship that is all about how you're perceived by other people
Yeah.
and how good it feels to be seen as like the funny life of the party couple. And Adam says, life is so short. If you're not vibing, what are you doing? Great
Knowledge,
question.
inspirational quote.
Yeah. Certainly, you always got to be vibing. If you're not vibing, time to rip it on your jet ski because you
Yeah.
know what? That's always a vibe.
Live, laugh, love is out. Vibe and jet ski in.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have living and loving and laughing taking up all of that vibing and jet skiing time. Courtney asks what she loves about Adam, aside from being funny. And Marissa says that in private, he's sweet and genuine. And he's actually a relationship guy. And I think this is because he told her earlier over dinner that he's always wanted to get married, but he just never finds the right person. She's like, he told me that he's into relationships. I think that's so nice. And Adam jokes, she thinks I'm ran through. And Courtney's like, I would think that too.
Courtney secretly, well, maybe even not so secretly, is into Adam.
Courtney is
She's
looking
jealous.
around at all the guys and she's like, which ones have the qualities that I wish Nick has? Because
Yeah.
he doesn't have them. Like, Felipe is funny and energetic. Adam is tall and handsome. Nick is the one that I got stuck
Yeah.
with.
Why?
Why? I wish that I could bring out I wish I could quote unquote bring out the qualities in Nick that other men have.
Yeah. Could you imagine Nick in that little hat, that straw hat with all those feathers?
Honestly, seeing Adam in that outfit, she should be counting her blessings. Nick chimes in and says, I love your fun, flirty energy. I wish that we had more of that in our relationship. But on decision day, are you going to vibe through it? Like, what's the plan to really, figure things out? And Marissa doesn't have an answer.
Mhm.
In the moment after this, Nick says he expected Marissa to say something like how thoughtful Adam was or something. Courtney chimes in in the moment with Nick and says, well, Adam doesn't have to be that thoughtful when he's the hottest one in the group. And Nick says, wild
Wild
comment,
comment.
which is
Wild.
one of his favorite things to
Yeah.
say.
Wild.
Wild
Too
comment,
real.
crazy comment. But it is
Yeah,
actually
it
a
is.
wild comment.
Like, you're just sitting at a table with every other couple, and you're just like, "You are the hottest one here, not the person next to me who I'm married to."
Insane. Like, how do you think you would react,
If he
Courtney,
said
if
yeah.
Nick
If he's
said
like,
that about someone
"Marissa's the
else?
hottest one here."
I know. And then she says, well, you're the hottest because you're my husband, which is kind of not even really like saying he's the hottest. What she's saying is, well, I have to think you're the hottest
Because we're married.
because we're married, or like love the one you're with, right? And like you're my husband, so I guess you're the hottest to me. He's like, now you're changing it. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, really? Like, are you serious? You're seriously upset?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How would
Yeah.
you feel?
Like, you know how you could have saved that, Courtney? Um, sorry, I meant aside from you.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like the hottest of the others.
Right. Not, well, I obviously have to think you're the hottest because you're technically my husband. Like, come on.
Yeah. No.
Nick and Courtney are next in the hot seat. They talk about the lack of physical intimacy. Courtney, as the experts point out, kind of he's like they're at the end of the table. Nick is on the far end. So she kind of turns to the group with her back to Nick,
Mhm.
fully boxes him out, and does a whole little jokey routine about how Nick tried to cuddle her the first night. And she just, quote, laid there like a lump of log and checked her watch to see if it was morning so she could get the fuck out of there. And she clearly thinks this is going to get big laughs, but instead everyone gets very silent and looks horrified.
Yeah. They're like, "Courtney, this what are you doing?"
Like it's one thing to be experiencing these issues, but to be so glib about it when obviously that's not considerate to your partner's feelings. To kind of make a joke of how you rejected him.
Yes, and you're expecting laughs from that's my thing is, like, why is she expecting everybody to, like, be on her side? Even when it comes to her family too. She's like, "Prove to me, right, that I'm right. Like, he look at this
Yeah.
guy. Look at this guy."
Yeah.
But everybody else is like, what are you doing?"
You're setting him up as the butt of the joke for everyone to laugh at,
Mhm.
and that's not a good quality. Like, who's gonna be on your side? He did nothing wrong.
Also, I think Nick's a good person. Like, I actually don't think he's not trying. I think he's, not up to her level of just but she's just slamming him so much that I do have, like, a soft spot for him. I feel bad. I feel like
Yeah.
he's trying his best, but he also doesn't wanna open up to her because every time he opens up, look what she does. She, like, criticizes him or embarrasses him.
He literally reached out to her, like, in bed in an appropriate way, I think. Cuddling is not too aggressive. If she didn't want to, she can communicate that with words. But she's taking this moment of some sort of vulnerability and a reach for connection and like telling it to the whole group like this
How
like
embarrassing.
it's a
Yeah.
comedy routine for her and he's the punchline. Like, how embarrassing. She can try to spin it like she's being self-deprecating, but when the joke is, "I'm checking my watch to see when I can get the fuck out," like, the joke is, who would wanna be there in bed with this guy?
Yeah. And soon, you know what, he's gonna wanna get the fuck out soon
Yeah.
too, because
I sort of wonder if he already wants to get out, but no one wants to be the first to leave the
yeah.
show. Um, Felipe asks Nick how it feels to be rejected by his wife. Not helpful, Felipe. And Adam and Nick are like, well, it's not a rejection. It's not a rejection. It's just that she's a slow burn. And Nick is like, yes, I totally understand. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Courtney explains that she's always struggled with physical touch, and in part, it's because she had sex with her first love to get him to like her, and so she's numb to it. Then Shawn does something that I really hated.
Mm.
Shawn tries to relate to her as a fellow high performance athlete. And he says that she should think of it as training. Get up, do the 10-mile run. Sex,
Yeah,
I
I'm like,
guess. He's like, when you get up and you do the 10-mile run, you hate it, you don't want to, your whole body is telling you to stop. But eventually, through repetition, it's in your body and you're ready to do it. And the other men, like Devin, who gets a lot of praise, I want to note, are nodding really eagerly.
yeah, I'm like, Devin, are you listening to the words that Sean is saying? Or is he just like, yeah, I love a 10-mile run. I love to train, Like, did you understand what Sean is like, he's comparing physical or just like a fitness training routine to sex?
Right. Like you're saying that sex is something that you train for
Yeah.
by doing it when you really don't want to, so that you'll be fit to do it later. That is not sexual intimacy is not fitness training. Like
Mm.
those are not the same things. And I don't know if many men have had the experience to like understand how wrong this is, but the kind of safety that you need to feel being vulnerable with someone so that you can be sexually connected in an authentic way is not going to be served by forcing yourself to have sexual touch that you don't want and don't feel ready for. It is going to create this disconnection and this numbness towards sex that is already Courtney's issue. Like she's telling you, I had sex I didn't want to have for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And you're saying, yeah, keep doing
Keep
that. And
doing that. That's
eventually,
how it should
eventually you'll be
be.
fixed.
I'm also like, who, like, a man in his, late 40s is saying this as if it's
I
like, this is what you should do. This is what women need to do. They just need to get up and do it. I was
Right.
like, ugh.
Like, is that what you think Nikki should do? Like,
Yeah, he does. He thinks
but then
Nikki should do
but
that.
then when he finds out she doesn't really want to, he's like, "You're lying to me."
Yeah.
It's like, have sex so that eventually you wanna have sex, but if you don't want to already, you're lying to me.
Like, I know
There's
you
really
slipped me tongue with food in your mouth. Like, I know. Just get up and do the 10-mile run. Ugh.
I did find this sort of revealing of this mindset where I've always wondered why men would wanna have sex with a woman who doesn't wanna have
Have
sex with
sex with
them.
them.
But I guess they're just like, "Oh, well, she needs to just, like, do it, and eventually she'll enjoy it, and in the meantime, I get my dick touched."
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
win-win. I'm actually helping her by pressuring her to have sex that she doesn't feel
Yeah, she's
comfortable
eventually
having.
gonna love it.
Yeah. And, there are some situations where there are relationships where the women are being maybe standoffish in ways that are hurtful, like Courtney, but pressuring women to have sex with men that they just met and were in fact put into arranged marriages with and don't know and didn't choose because they decided to get married, so they should then be forced or
Yeah.
pressured to
Be
have sex
fully
they don't wanna
open,
have.
yeah.
It makes me extremely
Oh
uncomfortable.
my god. So, like, think about just in general relationships, like, if you don't feel
Mhm.
connected to your spouse a certain
Yeah.
week or you guys haven't been having conversations, it's the same sort of vulnerable like, I'm not gonna just wanna, go up to the bedroom just because I'm married to my husband if we haven't had, like, a good week or we haven't had date time or
Right.
we haven't been connecting. It's insane. This comment was so insane to me, and I really
I
dislike
agree.
Sean, like, a lot.
I this was, like, extremely off-putting to me, and I was really bothered by the fact that no one pushed back on it or seemed even, disturbed by it except for Courtney, who says, "Well, that won't help, actually." In fact, I'm like, she just described how doing this very thing actually destroyed her relationship
Mhm.
with sexuality. But okay, Shawn. She's like, "That won't help, but over time, I'm feeling closer to Nick, so we're just, like, continuing to work on it in other ways." And Nick agrees. He says he's become very confident in himself and his life, but now he's ready to share it. And Felipe says, "Well, Nick, you're comfortable with who you are." And Courtney disagrees. She's like, "In the most respectful way, I don't think he
Yeah.
is."
Oh. Give him a break.
And I can't believe I was just defending Courtney because now she's losing me on so many levels.
I
She's
know.
chiming in to be like, "Actually, my husband is insecure." And and then she gives a very confusing explanation about how she's not, quote, "a Me Too girl."
Yeah.
So I guess a feminist who
Yeah.
thinks that men are to blame for things, or like I, I'm trying to, as a Me Too girl,
Trying to figure out
Courtney,
what this meant. Yeah.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about, but that sounds like a disparaging comment about
Mhm.
feminism and how feminists have pushed for women to be less sexually disempowered and preyed upon. She's like, "I'm not a Me Too girl. I think men and women are great. But I think actually the husbands aren't as confident as the wives here, and they need to be more confident."
Like me.
Like, I'm like, how are you confident
No.
compared to Nick? Like, both of you seem very insecure to me,
Very
actually.
insecure, but at least Nick's not, like, throwing you under the bus every chance he gets. I'm sure he can say things that you've been doing to him and airing out your dirty laundry, but he's not. He chose
Yeah.
not to, and you're just, like, throwing him under the bus every chance you get.
He's actually backing her up at
Mhm.
every step, and she is not returning the favor at all. Marissa says, "Well, confidence is not the same thing as vulnerability, and men can sometimes struggle with vulnerability." And maybe later Courtney says more that this is what she was trying to say. And Mecca really connects to this. He's like, "Wow, true. I do struggle with vulnerability. I don't talk to the boys about emotion. It's just about getting chicks, you know?
Mhm.
But these women, they've activated our softer sides." He's like, "With Belle, I feel safe. I can be myself." And then he starts being like, "After I saw what was on the backside, the wagon she was dragging." Like he starts like talking about her body
Mm.
and getting like really like sort
Very
of putting
logic. Very
it's very,
logical, you
very
know?
logical. Like it's he's putting on a bit of a display.
After
And
just saying, "Look, we've gotten softer, but
yeah,
you see what she's packing back there?" Like, what?
I was
You
like,
just totally, like, diluted the comment you just made.
right. Well, now you're doing the posturing for the boys stuff
Mhm.
that you were saying she's and allowed you to move past. You're like, "Look at the wagon on this lady." Everyone laughs, and Dr. Lisa is watching and says this feels performative.
Mm.
Um, this will become a big bone of contention. But first, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will get into the rest of this dinner. And we're back. So now that Mecca has piped up, it is his turn in the hot seat with Beljolie. And she admits she's more physical than him, but they haven't connected much that way. She brings up how he asked who is more attracted to the other. And it's so funny. Everyone around the table is like, "Wow, I've never even thought of that. What a great question." And
No.
I was aghast. I was like, "No, it's not, not a great
It's not a
question.
great
It's a
question at
terrible
all.
question."
Devin's like, "Man, I should have asked that question.
No, you
All my
shouldn't
problems
have.
would have been figured out."
It's like you're trying to hurt each other's feelings.
Yeah.
Dr. Lisa's watching. She's like, "That's a
It's a horror.
horrible question." I was like, "You know what, guys? I've been married, knock wood, successfully for almost a decade, and I have never asked my
Yeah, are
partner
you
that
attracted to
question."
me? I'm more attracted to you than you
Let's
are.
rate our attraction levels to each other out of 10 and then compare and see who holds the upper hand in
Yeah.
this
This is what I
relationship.
was hoping, like, Lisa and Paul would just run out of their hiding place and be like, "Enough!"
No, we need like a Love Island style. They never show this on camera, but we need like the Love Island style loudspeaker. They just hear like a shriek of the loudspeaker above, and then they're like, "Change the conversation.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it." Bzz.
Like when you're on your Nanit monitor with the baby,
Yeah.
"Go to sleep.
Go
Go
to
back to
sleep.
sleep."
Go to sleep. Stop comparing attraction levels using percentages. Mecca explains, or Belle explains Mecca's answer and how now he's getting more affectionate, but she's struggling to like turn it around and get back to where she was because it's just really in her head. And it's like, yeah, that's why you shouldn't have
Yeah,
had this
say it.
conversation to begin with.
Mhm.
Cam and Michelle are next. Courtney says she knows Michelle is really picky, but she's clearly smitten. And they talk about all the tough, deep conversations they've had, and everyone claps. And it's like, A students, Cam and Michelle,
Yeah. That's how
you're
I
really
feel at
nailing
home
it.
too. I'm like,
Yeah. No notes. Well, that's why they start getting a little too interested in other people's
yeah,
relationships.
yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
we've got this all figured out.
yeah.
Devin and Caitlin are next, and Devin says he came in expecting to cannonball in to this experience, but he cannonballed into a frozen lake. He's literally like, "My wife is frigid."
Oh my god. Which, like, she is?
She's
She
she's a little bit chilly,
she's a
she's a
little
little
chilly,
bit
but she admits
cool.
it, you know? She told you that she was frozen.
I'm always going to bridle at men using ice analogies for women not giving them the physical touch that
Yeah,
they want,
that they want.
but I see where the analogy comes from.
Coulda just called her Elsa or something like that, Dev.
He says, he came in expecting her to show up a certain way, and he ended up feeling rejected, and maybe he was a little too aggressive and like pushing her away by coming in so hot with the affection. And he says after talking to Dr. Lisa, he realized it's about us. It's not just about him. Felipe asks if Caitlin has recognized her guard being up, and she says yes. But then she says that she was giving him more than he realized, and she thinks he's just not used to working for a woman's attention. What do you think about this?
I mean, I think she's trying her best to give him stuff, but I think he's willing to work for her attention. I don't think that's it. I think maybe like I remember watching their wedding and being like, "Wow, they're really attracted to each other. Like this seems like a good pairing. I think these two are going to last." And then it quickly got a little distant between them. I don't know if he I guess maybe as like a rugby player, he doesn't have to work too hard for it or he gets the girls he wants. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think he's trying. I don't think he's not trying.
Yeah, I think he's trying. I think I I'm a little concerned that Caitlin, and this is completely speculative. I have no idea if this is true at all, but to me it's coming off as a little bit romance novel pilled.
Mhm.
That, like, she has these frameworks that's like, "I'm the independent black cat heroine. I have to be earned. You have to work for me a little bit." Like, he's used to women who just, like, throw themselves at him, but I'm different. Like, I'm a little special, and our relationship will only flourish if he kind of bends to how I am and
Mhm.
courts me in this way that he's never, and that makes me, like, unique and special.
Yeah.
She loves the black cat thing. She's like, "That's the kind of person I am." Like, it feels like she's just a little attached to, like, the romantic narrative where she is this kind of person and he has to value her so much that he will, like, change everything about himself to win her.
Yes. She's like, "I will change the golden retriever puppy into a cat." And she's not really like my thing is she's also trying, I guess. But I
Yeah.
feel like she's not like opening herself up to like the experience. She's kind of just sticking to who she is and she's like I'm not going to change for anybody. Like he's going to have to change for me, which is like you know.
Yeah. And we see more of that at the group therapy too, that this
Mhm.
seems to be kind of her mindset. It's also like she wants credit for how hard she's trying, but her baseline is clearly so different from anything he's ever experienced. It's like,
Yeah.
how would you expect him to register almost nothing as
Yeah.
as being such a big, improvement over nothing? Courtney suggests that he just can't handle an independent woman, and Devin says it's just an adjustment. He likes instant gratification, but this is really challenging him to stay and fight. Caitlin says it's attractive that he's working on himself and he's fun to look at. She says she doesn't take or give compliments well, but she's been working on this too. So it seems like they both feel like they've made a little bit of progress. They have like an okay vibe together,
Yeah.
but it's a little concerning.
It is. It is a little concerning.
Felipe and Tori are next. He says he really respects her. He wants to win her over and be a good husband. And I was like, good, good, good.
Mhm.
Great. Felipe is about to start waving like every red flag in the string of flags. Like he is about to like hang them all out as bunting. He's acting so normal, and then suddenly he starts being like, "I'm don't know how to do monogamy,"
Yeah.
but he's keeping it under wraps for the most part. Tori says that recently they got intimate and she initiated it, but afterwards she had to sleep on the couch because it was just too soon for her. But she says he handled it really well, and the experts are impressed. They're like, he's taking this more seriously than we expected. They're kind of like, we thought that he would be the Adam.
Yeah. Which I did too. The first scene
Yeah.
of Felipe, I was like, "Ah." But he's actually been, like, one of the better husbands.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, it seems like they have a lot more in common, I think I would say, Felipe and Adam, than I
Yeah.
realized at the beginning. And they're showing different sides based on how their relationships are progressing and what their actual like intentions are, I think. Which I think this set of episodes is very illuminating to me about what's going on with Felipe. He admits that right now he's really passionate about Tori. He wants to keep that alive, but he is afraid that the passion will go away. And that's the first little
Red
little
flag.
yellow flag
Yeah.
waving. Yeah, it's
Caution,
okay.
caution.
Nikki tells Shawn while all this is happening quietly that she's trying to figure out how to talk about their relationship without embarrassing him.
Yeah.
So, do we think she succeeded at that?
No, she did not.
She talks to the group about all the crappy stuff that came out during their double date. She says that she feels he frames her as the problem. She thinks that he presents himself as the stable base in the relationship. And that's, in her perception, not how it is. Shawn says that on this double date, he wanted to support her to come off in the best light and to not feel anxious. And she said, "Are you calling me anxious? I'm not an anxious person," and became very defensive. Mecca then offers his perspective as someone who was there. He's like, "I want to talk about accountability. Do you think, Nikki, that you're accurately taking accountability for your part? Because I saw you attacking him and not giving grace." Nikki says she's working on giving grace, but they never talk about the conflict, and it ends up repeating. She feels he labels her and brings up how he called her anxious and crazy at the airport, and everyone is shocked. All the women are like,
How
"He
dare
called you
you?
crazy?" And he's like, "I was quoting her." And she's like, "I never said I was crazy." Devin attributes their lack of communication to their egos getting in the way. And the experts love this. They're like, Devin is our proxy.
Yeah, they're like, "We need Devin on our side."
But they note that Shawn immediately takes out his phone while Devin is talking.
Yeah. Or I don't know if I couldn't see a phone, but he was definitely looking down. I felt it was more like, embarrassment,
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
it was a little much. Like, if somebody's getting, like,
Yeah. But
attacked,
like,
I feel like that's a normal reaction.
but I think that ultimately there was more scrutiny directed at Nikki, but she never does this. Like,
Yeah.
she stays engaged with the conversation the whole time. And when Shawn is getting a little bit of the commentary, he immediately starts like
He shuts down. Yeah.
shutting down.
Uh-huh.
Nikki says there is ego, but she also feels Shawn is disrespectful. And Devin asks where she does it, what she's bringing to that pattern. And she says, "Well, I match his escalation pattern."
Mhm.
And he says, "Well, maybe you shouldn't be matching that escalation." And she says, "Well, at the airport, I tried to step away instead. And then suddenly he's calling me aggressive because I'm like towering over him at 5'5". And the men all react as if she's called Shawn short and was being disrespectful to him for that. That's not how I read it. I'm curious how you took this comment.
I think by the reactions, I was like, "Did she just, like, call him short?" And then I was like, "Wait, no, I don't think that's what she was saying." But in the moment, I don't know, I could see why they were confused, but it was also, like, all the guys who seemed to react to the
Well, they're
to
like,
the
you
insults.
never
Call a man
and mention
short.
height around a
Yeah.
short man."
Yeah.
You
And she was like,
never.
"Wait, I wasn't trying to say that. I was just,
Well, and then she tries to explain that that wasn't a height comment, and the men keep being like, "Well, it was a height comment, and it was really disrespectful. It's very rude." And she's like, "No, that's not what I was saying."
Yeah.
I think that she's saying she's 5'5", and so she's not really tall enough. And you can dispute whether that's fair or not. Like, maybe
Mhm.
you can still loom over and physically intimidate someone at 5'5". But she's saying, "Oh, was he really scared of me because 'cause I'm
Me.
standing up? I'm 5'5".
Yes. Yes. She was trying to say, like, he called me aggressive,
Right.
like, little old me,
Right. Like, what? I'm
She
so
wasn't trying to
petite.
be like, I'm, above him or something or taller than him. Oh,
That was definitely how I read it. Was her communication the best in that moment? Probably not how I would communicate what happened. Like, instead of making like a little snide comment about how, like, obviously I couldn't be intimidating him.
mhm.
I'm not tall enough. You can still loom over someone and intimidate them while they're seated if you're
Yeah.
mad. She's like, just emphasize that you were just trying to step away and he spun that into something else. And then now they're all so put off by the fact that she would demean him for his height
Yeah.
that they can't talk about anything
They're like, "You are
else.
the mean one."
You big meanie. Adam is like, maybe you guys should just call it. And Shawn says he won't because he's a committed man.
Mhm.
I I feel like Nikki came off very poorly here to the group, and they were on her case. And
Yeah.
it's fair to say that she also struggles with taking accountability. She also struggles with her ego being threatened. But it's also true that, like, I've seen how he does label her, talk down to her,
Yes.
have a disrespectful tone, and no one wants to hear it from her. And that I found that really
Yeah,
frustrating.
and off-putting. Here, the Sean seems to have the favor of the group. Like, I don't
Yeah.
he seems to be everybody's buddy. When he walks in, everybody's like, "Sean," And but we see a different side of Sean because we get to see him interacting with Nikki and the way he
Mm.
talks to her.
I get the sense that Mecca saw her on the date reacting to something that she receives from Shawn often enough that she has, like, built up a sort
Yeah.
of a hair trigger to it. Whereas for Mecca, he's like, "Why are you overreacting to this little comment?" She's like, "He's constantly."
Doing that. Mhm.
Yeah. As they leave, some of the couples are happier than others. Courtney is picking at everything Nick does. He only ordered a Jetta to pick them up. Yuck. He steps on her as he opens her door, and then she's like, "Well, at least you finally opened a door for me. It's the first time." And he's like, "I do open doors for
Yeah.
you."
Oh,
That, like, they pick at each other like they've
so
been together
much.
for years, or she picks
Yes.
at him like they've been together for
Yes.
years and she's over his shit.
I mean, he's gonna explode one of these episodes if he doesn't,
Yeah.
like, because he really has composed himself. I have to give him credit for that. Like, he kinda
Yeah.
bites his tongue in these moments, but there's definitely gonna be
I mean, there's a degree to which
something.
starts to come off as part of his issue, which is that he's too polished. He isn't being genuine. The main way I think we see that is that he's pretending he's totally fine and unaffected by all these little comments, and he
Mhm.
totally gets it. And I'm like, actually, it'd be very normal to not want to be spoken to that way, or to
Yeah.
have a feeling and reaction to that, and to want to convey that to her. And he doesn't want to risk, I think, looking like the bad guy.
Yeah, yeah. He's people pleasing a bit for
Mhm.
us
Yeah.
at home.
He's very aware of
Yeah.
the audience. In the car, he does wanna dig deeper on the insecurity question. He's like, "Where do you see insecurity in me?" And she says, "Well, it's not even that, maybe. You guys are all very attractive. You're clearly used to women just being all about them and not having to work for it." And Nick is like, "Well, that's not true. Like, I've been rejected plenty." And I think actually, again, the way he's behaving, he's tolerating a lot of rejection from
Yeah, I
her.
was like,
So
"He's been rejected tonight plenty
yeah,
of times." Like
like 15 times. Nikki is pissed at Shawn. She really unloads on him after the dinner. She says that he presented her in the worst light in front of their peers. He didn't admit to or show any of his own flaws. His responses to her in this moment, to me, seemed very like sarcastic and passive aggressive,
Mm,
just like repeating things that she's said to him, being like, "Yes, I've been robotic. I've been professorial. Clearly, those are my problems. But if I'm the only issue, I'm not sure why you haven't just figured out how to fix me yet."
mm.
Like, he is being from a step back, it might look like he's being agreeable, but he's clearly being passive aggressive.
Yes, yeah. I felt the same way. I was like, "What is happening here?"
Yeah. Um, and she's like, "Well, your issues are not my problem to fix. Like, just because I know your issue, how could I why
Yeah.
would she just be able to fix him? If only we could just fix our
Yeah,
husbands,
if only we
so
could fix
easily."
everybody. That seems to be a lot of the problems here with these couples. Is like, "How can I fix you?
I
How can I
know.
change you to be like me?"
I wish that my husband and I could fix each other. We have
Yeah.
great perspective on each other's flaws. We could just be like, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we have to fix ourselves.
Mhm.
He then promises that he won't argue with her anymore in a way that feels like almost like some kind of threat. Like, not like a threat, but like his tone is like, "I promise you, I will
Yeah.
not fight with you anymore." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Why are you
I'm
saying
like,
it like
I
that?"
also feel like we've heard this before. It's like,
Like, he's saying it like he thinks she wants him to fight with her.
yeah,
And he's like, "I'm gonna withhold that joy
yeah,
from you."
from you. No more fighting on my end.
And yeah, I believe him? Not so much.
Nope.
Back at their place, she says she needs space, and he says he thinks proximity could be good so they can keep having these conversations. But she's like, "No, I'm
No,
done.
I don't
I'm
need
leaving."
no conversation. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Which I agree, because they kinda do
Yeah,
talk in circle. Like, it's always the same conversation between them. It's always the same back and forth.
they need a break from each other.
Mhm.
And I need a quick break. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, episodes 8 and 9 of Married at First Sight. And we're back. So we dive in with some couples at home sort of scenes.
Mhm.
Felipe's parents come over to have a giant bunch of grapes with Tori and Felipe, just a mound of grapes sitting on the table. And Felipe tells the camera he's trying to lean into his marriage and not lose his passion for Tori. And this is the first time I wrote, it's getting alarming how much he talks about this.
Yeah. Anytime he's alone in a room, he's like, "I don't know, guys. I'm kinda missing other women in my life, but I really like her. But I still is this it for me?"
Yeah, I'm like, you've had sex like 3 times maybe, and you're like, I can feel the passion draining away. He tells his dad he really wants to try to be a good husband and be monogamous.
Yeah, I'm like, "Wait, too late for that, because you are
Yeah.
married, and that means you should be monogamous."
Right. I'm like, it's a little late to start making your efforts.
Yeah.
His dad tells him it can be challenging because lust is so fun. And it can be fun, but also bring you to the fires of hell. And I think we should all remember that. But he's like, it pays off in companionship to like really stick with monogamy. So that seems positive.
Yeah,
He's
sure.
already white knuckling sobriety from dating around. While Nick makes some dips for himself and Courtney, he tries to tell her about Bill and Ted's excellent adventure. She has never heard of it or Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. She doesn't know how do you spell that? Okay, listen, you know me as, like, a celebrity journalist, know
Right.
all my celebrity news. I was mortified. I was like, "Are there people in this world who don't know who Keanu Reeves is?"
I would think of him as an A-lister.
Yeah.
Like, he's a household name.
Nobody has his name. Like,
To
you don't
use the Who Weekly framework, he's a them.
yeah.
Like, you know who Keanu Reeves is.
She no, and then she saw a picture, she's like, "Nope, nope, don't know that. Don't know that."
What? One of the handsomest, nicest men in Hollywood. Like, what are
Here's my deal. If someone did not get a pop culture reference and I was married to them, it would be a hard no for me. I'd be like,
like, I'm
"Wait,
out of
you
here.
so we're not gonna watch movies together? What do we do?"
She doesn't watch a lot of movie. Okay, but like, do you live in the world? Like, I
Yeah.
know I'm a little biased because yes, we worked on an entertainment page. Like,
Yes.
we work in the culture space. But that's low hanging fruit.
Yes. Yeah. It
You've
would be
never
like Brad
seen
Pitt. Like, you've never heard of Brad
right.
Pitt before?
I'm sorry, you've never seen Much Ado About Nothing?
Yeah.
Like, I I was upset. Yeah, he has to spell it for her. It's not good.
Yeah,
But
that was a bad moment.
Nick is less concerned about this. He's more concerned about how he doesn't know where he stands with Courtney. Sometimes she's warm, other times he wonders what she really thinks about him. I have to assume he's watching this back and seeing things she says when he's not there, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah, she was
that's what
not
she was."
warm.
Well, and he keeps being like, "I see how she shows up for other people, and, like, I wanna be in that circle." And I'm like, "I haven't seen how she shows up for anyone
No, except herself.
except herself." Over the dips, she tells him that she has a hard time being honest about how she feels because she's worried that if she ruffles feathers, people will leave. She makes it sound like she's, like, never really had a real relationship, like, they're more like situationships. Like, every time she talks about her romantic history, it sounds more and more like she's just been in some, like, really toxic situationships.
Yeah.
She's like, "They never met my parents, we didn't have date night, it was never anything like that." I wonder if this is partly why she is constantly jabbing in ways that give her, like, plausible deniability.
Yeah. But there's definitely something here that's not matching. Like, I don't think she's had
Right.
true relationships, and I think that's why being in, like, this committed marriage and trying to, like, work on it is triggering for her, or maybe she's never
Mm,
experienced it. I don't think she's ever, like, lived with a guy. If you haven't gone on date nights, like, I don't know if
yeah.
you were in a relationship. You never went on a date to see a
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves movie?
Lee, we're in our 30s, the kids don't go on dates anymore. They don't watch Keanu Reeves movies. I don't know what they do, but not that. Yeah, I think also, like, if you're worried that people will leave if you're honest, but you have a lot of feelings you want to tell them, you might end up saying them through jokes.
Yeah.
And, like, so he's getting confused because he's like, "She's taking all these little jabs at me, but they're, like, jokes." And so maybe she doesn't really mean those things, but I think she does. She just feels more comfortable expressing them in a way where she can be like, "Nick, come on, I'm just giving you a hard time." And I say that as someone who is like that. Like, I'm like that, and it's something I have to recognize in my relationship because it can be very harmful to your dynamic.
I know, but it's just the way some people cope, you know? But
Yeah.
then you see when she gets, like, emotional.
Mm.
Like, we've seen it a few times now. We saw it on the boat, like, on the honeymoon where she has to, like, hold back her tears, and she, like, stops when she feels them coming.
Mm.
That's a whole other issue that I'm like, she's
Yeah.
not letting herself just, like, cry. She won't let herself be emotional. She's so guarded. It's
Yeah.
insane. Like, I just wanna shake her sometimes and be like, "Cry! Let
I
it out."
know. I know. And she says, like, "Oh, well, if someone actually loved me and didn't get upset when I expressed what bothered me, that would mean a lot." But I think that Nick is giving her that. And
Yeah.
so she's it's not enough. I think that's not healing enough. I think that another issue is that Nick is kind of protecting her. And so the experts are not really addressing the fact that she's handling her feelings about this relationship in a really unhealthy way.
Yeah.
Because he's not, like, saying, like, "Oh, we have to talk about all the nasty things she says to me," and then pretends they're jokes.
No, because he doesn't really, like, air again,
Mm,
their dirty laundry to everybody. He kinda keeps it
yeah,
tight-lipped, but she's talking about
right.
him as if he's kinda creating the problems in the relationship, but that's not the case. It's
Yeah,
very much how she's treating him too.
yeah. Nikki and Shawn have the first therapy session, I think, that we see this season with Paul, and she shows up alone and tells the camera she's pissed. She feels like Shawn is there to win and look good on camera, not to be a team with his partner. That's kinda how I felt at this point as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
But Shawn does arrive. They sit down. Paul asks them each to rate their marriage out of 10. She rates it a 2. Shawn rates it a 7.5. Shawn,
No.
Shawn,
I'm like, "What
come
marriage are you
on.
in, Sean?"
That, like, I don't even believe you. Like, I don't believe that I don't even think that you're just deluded and optimistic. I don't believe that you're that feeling that good about
But he
things.
believes in himself, Claire. I think that's more like he's rating him I think he was rating himself in the marriage, like, "I'm giving it a
Yeah.
7.5 and she's giving it 2."
Or maybe he's thinking of it through an educational framework where he's like, "That's actually pretty close to a failing grade."
It's a C.
75%, that's, like, not even that good. But no, I think you're right, he's rating himself. He's like, "My attitude is no matter who I got matched with, I do my best to get better, and I think I am." That's also kind of a dig at Nikki, by the way. He's like,
Yeah.
"It doesn't even matter who I'm matched with. All that matters is how I'm showing up, and I'm showing up
Yeah.
great."
I
Like,
could have been married to anyone, and I'd give them
right.
100%. I don't even like you, but I'm still
Yeah, exactly. This is also something that has, like, come up in the course of, like, being married and parenting little kids for me, is that there have been times when we've sat down and I've been like, "How do you feel about our relationship?" And
Mhm.
if his answer is really different than mine, that feels like a wedge. It's
Yeah.
like we don't even have the same understanding of how good our relationship is, so how can we be living the same reality together? How can we have a good relationship if one of us thinks it's fine and the other
Mhm.
one doesn't? We're never gonna heal the part that's not working. And so I really appreciated that Paul, like, zeroed in on that because I feel like I have so rarely heard that discussed, and I think it really can make you feel, like, way more disconnected. It's more connecting to both sit there and be like, "This sucks right now."
Yeah, exactly. We both said before we recorded, "I wanna go to a Paul session
Right?
with my husband because, like, the way he was saying it, I was like, "Yes." I
Yeah.
really liked this therapy session, and clearly they did too because, we'll
Yeah.
get there, but they do a a
The
complete 180.
the effects are dramatic, and I was like, I get it." He's literally sitting them down and being like, "You have to try to inhabit the same reality and communicate in a way where you both understand." Because if you're a team, you have to be working on the same project. You can't be in completely different la la
Yeah.
lands. And Nikki says that it's clear to her why they got matched based on their profiles, but
Mhm.
they don't communicate well. And Paul's like, "Well, can you reframe that as an I statement?" We're doing some real classic
Mhm.
reframing as an I statement work in this session. She says she doesn't feel heard or respected. And she starts to say what Shawn is doing to lead to that. And Paul's like, "No, no, no. Don't blame, name the impact." And she says the impact is she doesn't feel valued. And then Shawn is given a chance to respond, and he says, well, having heard this, he feels that he can relinquish power. He says, as the youngest child, he's accustomed to being unheard. He feels the need to like get at least 50% of the words in so he doesn't feel dominated. And Paul says, Shawn, that sucked. He's like, that was not good.
No,
That wasn't holding space. I was like,
no.
yeah, he really did kind of just like immediately make it about himself.
Yes. Like, "But look at poor me. I was the youngest child, and this is why I am
Yeah. Well,
always trying to talk over Nikki."
and there's, like, totally a space for talking about that, but, like, maybe not right
Right
now.
now, after she just said she doesn't feel heard.
Right. He says, "You have to hold space for her, you have to tell her that she's valid in what she feels." And they say it all again, and this time Shawn is like, "You have every right to feel that way, Nikki." And she's like, "I feel amazing. I
Yeah.
feel so much better when you
She
talk
loved
less."
this. Me, not so I was like, "So, because he just followed Paul's direction, does he mean it?"
Right.
That's
I
how
was
I
like
felt, but she loved it, so,
she's like, "I heard the magic words. I heard the
it's like,
open
basically,
sesame."
Paul told him to say that.
Right. I mean, that's kind of the challenging thing sometimes with these marriage counseling scripts. It's like, well, are they just saying that because that's what they were told to say? Or are they communicating better and hearing me better
Mhm.
because they've been training? Maybe this is one of those things. It's like being a high performance athlete and you just have to say, I hear you and you're valid in that over and over again until you
And then you'll
feel
like
it.
it.
And then you'll like it. Shawn gets a turn to share what he has a hard time sharing with Nikki, and he says that he doesn't feel safe with her because he needs a plan. He feels she doesn't have a plan for them and keeping their relationship safe. And she is like, I validate that.
Mhm.
You deserve to feel safe in our relationship. And Paul asked them to start rating their marriage every day and then discuss their ratings together and try to like understand how to get closer in their share into a shared reality. And I was like, I love this session. I'm taking notes.
I know, I'm like, I'm gonna start being like, "Babe, today on a scale from 1 to 10, where's our marriage? And he'll be like, a 6, and I'll be like, "Ah!"
I know. Like, well, I'm an 8. Like, I feel rejected. Michelle and Cam paint some pottery together and discuss what math nerds they were as kids. And then she says that it's important for her to live the lifestyle she wants. And she put an emphasis on finances with the experts. She said that she wanted to marry someone who made at least 150K. And Cam is like, well,
Well, yep.
I don't make that, but if I have another good season, I could get a new coaching job, I could get a promotion, I could make more money. And in the moment, he admits that he was pretty thrown to hear a specific dollar amount because he didn't ask for a specific amount.
Mhm.
And that's fair, but like historically, men have not really preferred women to make a specific dollar
Yeah.
amount. They prefer for her
For her to be
to
home.
be home.
Yeah.
Like, there just isn't the same kind of weight placed on that. And she says in the moment that men can feel emasculated when they aren't the breadwinner, and she works in tech. Nikki had the same issue that, like, she doesn't want to be in a situation with a man who is resentful and
Mhm.
feels lesser and is like acting out because he feels bad that he doesn't make as much money as his own wife and he feels competitive with her. And this is like such a known issue that men become very insecure and like
Yes.
expect their wives to do extra domestic work to allow the men to continue like feeling like the man of the house.
Yeah. And you're like, "No, you can also do said domestic work." Like,
Yeah. What if you found masculinity and self-respect in stepping up around the house?
yes, like doing some dishes.
So I think it's always going to be a fraught thing because of course I think women can be shallow about this sort of thing. Anyone can, but that's not the only thing that arises from dating a man who doesn't earn as much. It's not just that you'll have fewer resources or that you'll see him as less masculine. It
Mhm.
can also affect how he treats you. And back in their apartment, we see kind of on the bird's eye cameras, he says the same thing. He's like, I could feel a little emasculated, but
Yeah.
I'm making less than you. And she's like, well, it doesn't make me see you as less masculine. It's not a problem. And he says, it's just a little shitty. And she says, it doesn't bother me because you make me feel safe and protected.
I thought they really handled this well. Like, they both kinda aired out their reasoning. He spoke to her about it again, and she accepted, like, his feelings, but I think she really does care about him and like him, and
Yeah.
he does seem like the type of guy who's gonna take care of her, like,
Yeah.
so I thought they handled it well. It is a tough conversation to have in general,
Yeah.
so
It was a little funny to me how she brought it up in this way, where she's kind of like, I need to find out how much he
yeah,
makes.
they're,
So I'm
like,
just going to
painting
bring that up.
mushrooms.
She's like, so I did ask for this amount of money. Like, is
Yeah.
that? He's
Is that
like,
what you make?
but yeah, I mean, they're getting to know each other. It does seem like ultimately they want to arrive at a place where they just both feel good
Yeah. And he lives in
about their relationship.
Portland too, which I don't know if
Yeah.
we've discussed that yet, but that's like a little bit of a annoyance for them in the future because
Yeah.
she does not want to move to Portland.
And it might
Um,
not even just be for, I mean, being a college like working in the university or college system at all is very limiting.
yeah.
And it's not like an industry that's based in a certain place. Like in Seattle, she can just keep working in tech. There's a ton of tech companies there. You can like stay there your whole career. It actually might be hard to work somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But my brother, when he was applying for jobs, eh, he didn't know he could end up in Idaho. He could end up in Alaska
Yeah.
because you don't know where an opening is going to be at a college or university, and you might not get another good one. He could end up needing to move to, Florida.
Yeah, for that 150K, Is
Exactly.
she
Like,
gonna move with him just for his salary, or does she want him to be near her?
right.
Yeah.
Could she get a remote job? Like, is he gonna change careers because he can't necessarily have that determination over where he lives if he stays in this career path? I don't know. That seems really challenging. Mecca and Bella Jolie have therapy with Dr. Lisa, who's thrilled with their body language. And she loves the way they look always. She's just like, the way that you're like sitting in his fold, like you just like look like you've been together
Yeah,
forever.
you
You look
look
so
so
right
good.
together.
Peaches and cream.
Yeah. And they are wearing like coordinating earth tones. Like
They're
they do
always
like
like,
to,
yeah, they like to match, but I don't know if they
yeah.
plan it all the time. I think it's just like,
And it's not always like so matchy matchy, but it's always like these complement each
yeah,
other.
Becca
Like they
has
go
cool
well.
style. I do
Yeah,
appreciate like his look.
I agree. And it's not too much like certain other people who like to go to the thrift shop. Mecca admits that he asked Belle who was more attracted to the other, and Dr. Lisa gets a chance to be like, "That's a horrible question."
Yeah. She's like, by the way, I was watching you the other day.
She's like, "Don't do that." Belle says it blocks her from intimacy because she'll always be wondering if he's even really attracted to her. And Mecca says that learning more about who she is, the attraction has increased. And Belle looks kind of less than thrilled by this. I think there's something going on with Mecca and Belle where they're kind of gender reversed from the expected dynamic.
Mm,
And he's not handling it particularly well in every respect. Like that question was deranged. But I think it also strikes at like it strikes at the expectation that Belle as a woman has about how her male partner is going to approach the physical side of their relationship. Like
mhm.
there's so much more of a cultural script around like, well, men can cultivate their sexual capital. They can become more attractive by being good at guitar or soccer or like being really confident or funny. And that's all part of the package. And sometimes women take longer to grow in their attraction and to get interested in sex. But for a man to tell you as a woman, well, I'm not really that attracted to you, but I think if I got to know you better, I could start to feel attracted to you. That's just so different from what we're taught about how men develop attraction.
Yeah.
And it feels like a little unfair to Mecca. I'm like, it's okay if he develops an attraction for her by getting closer to her emotionally and getting to know her
Yes.
better.
And I don't see I understand why everybody's on Mecca with this, but I also do see him really liking Bella Jolie. Like they feel like they have a good connection. He's trying. I mean, we've seen and heard about his past. I think it's important for him to feel like I don't know. I don't know if he's ever been vulnerable like in a love situation. Yeah, I don't think he's been vulnerable in front of his dad. Like I feel like there's a lot
Yeah.
going on there. Um I don't know. I think he's trying his best. I think
Yeah.
he's grown already in the episodes I've seen from the wedding to now.
Yeah. Yeah, like and I have to go back to what was really irritating me about him in previous episodes, which is that I think he was really attracted to her, but now he like it felt rejected. And so
Yeah.
he is trying to be the one with the leverage now by saying he's less attracted to her. But at the same time, like both people are just thrown into this new marriage, and it's okay to not be ready to move at a certain pace and to need time to get comfortable or to like develop that readiness. And men don't have to just be like the guy where you press a button and he springs up and is
Yeah.
like, I'm ready for sex now because
'Cause
you're a
she
hot
said, "I have the
woman.
green light," or whatever, you
Exactly.
know? Because that's a
Exactly.
lot of pressure too when she's like, "I'm open, like, you can grab me, you can kiss me, you can" and, like, maybe he was a little scared of that because
Yeah.
she's confident enough to be like, "Here you are, like,
Yeah.
I'm open."
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's going on with Mecca, but I think that there is a certain degree to which it's very limiting for women to have this idea that like all we have to offer is our physical attractiveness and like
Mhm.
if men want us, they'll just like immediately want us based on how we look. Like we can also be attractive because we're
Good
kind
people.
or yeah, or
Yeah,
funny or
yeah.
interesting. I think that's okay and it's not like a knock on Belle if he is growing through getting to know her. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm also like, I do feel like he's playing a bit of a power game here.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
know.
Me too, I'm confused about him, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I mean, they've both really been through it as
Yeah.
kids too, and, like, a lot of them are bringing a lot of baggage to these relationships, but especially Mecca and Belle. They talk about their physical relationship. He kisses her on the forehead, and Dr. Lisa is like, "I do that with my kids." And he says, "Well, we don't really make out because it hasn't been initiated by someone,
Yeah.
by that
You.
by you." Belle says that she's down for him to initiate, and he says he just has anxiety about not being fully accepted by his partner. He tells the camera he has self diagnosed sexual anxiety and he struggles to initiate with new partners.
Mm.
And I just think that these are the kinds of things that like clash with our expectations of men, and
Yeah,
that like I think it's totally valid for someone to have those anxieties and to need more time to be comfortable being vulnerable.
absolutely.
But Dr. Lisa is like, Mecca, she said green light, time to make out with her. That's your homework, make out
Yeah.
with Belle.
Sexual anxiety? What are you talking about? Just jump on in.
So that night they set a romantic atmosphere. He lights a candle, they put on bathrobes. Belle is like, we're edging closer to that cliff. His attraction is growing. And then we like smash cut to them blowing out the candles and getting in bed to talk about how many kids they want.
Yeah.
2 for him, 4 for her, or as many as God allows. I was like, did they make out in the interim or did they just sit there with a candle for a little while?
I feel like they end up, you know,
Yeah. This is the night when we are to believe that they
yes.
go all the way.
But you can like, I could sense their like nerves with the kid question. Like they get in, they're like clearly like naked under those
Mhm.
bathrobes. They think it's just gonna like happen. And then it's just like, okay, let's like break the ice a little bit. Let's like make this less stressful. Which it is like when you have these expectations in your head, like any couple is like, some couples may schedule sex. Some people might
Yeah.
like be like, tonight's the night, and you get all like in your head about it instead of just letting it happen naturally.
You gotta break the ice sometimes, it's
Yeah.
true.
But I don't wear, my bathrobe to bed, but good for them.
If I had these thick bathrobes that they clearly all have stocked in their show apartments, maybe I would. Marissa, meanwhile, it takes Adam to her apartment, which is very Marissa. It's very new build,
Mhm.
millennial gray and cream color scheme. It looks sort of like a high-end IKEA showroom.
It looks like their apartments they're in now.
I know, yeah, it
You're
does.
down the hall?
But she's anxious that he'll be underwhelmed because his home is like a playground.
I'm sorry, I was, like, dying with this. I was like, I thought she was gonna be anxious because he lived basically at a campsite, but
Well, I mean, she's like, clearly that's what he likes. I thought this was very self-aware that she's like, I love my home and I'm proud
yeah.
of it, but I'm realizing that like clearly that's none of this is what he values.
Yeah, he
So,
wants to
like
live in a treehouse.
he's like, where are the ice picks? Where is the jet ski? She has set up a little portrait painting date for them, and Adam immediately has to brag that he grew up in an art family, so don't worry about me.
I know, she's like, "Yeah, I saw that in your house. I saw that beautiful art." And I was like, "I did not notice that," but
I didn't notice it. I was looking at the ice picks, I'm gonna
yeah,
be
I was looking at
honest.
the college diploma.
Yeah, I was definitely looking at all the weapons. But I also feel like, he should have maybe softened her expectations a little bit because what happens is rough. They exchange portraits, and hers is pretty decent, and his is it feels mean-spirited.
Yeah. I was like, "Ew?" Like, I was
Yeah,
confused. I was like, that's clearly, like, you chose to do that. After
right,
saying, like, "I'm an artist,"
right.
you
He
chose to kinda, like, make fun of her in this moment and, like, draw her mouth all weird and, like, kinda make her
yeah.
look like an angry woman.
Her mouth looks like she has vagina dentata on her
Yeah.
face. Like, it's like a hole
It was
with
just
teeth
rude.
pointing in every direction.
Like, he makes everything a
Yeah.
joke, but
She has angry brows
yeah.
and piggy nose. I was just like, "Why?" And then above it, he wrote "cooked."
Yeah.
I wonder if he is resentful, because she put him in a position to show that he wasn't really good at a cultured activity. Like, if she had a piano, that would be cool, and he would do a beautiful sonata,
Mhm.
but now he has to show how bad he is at painting, so he's becoming s
Angry.
angry. He's trying to
Or
lash
making
out
her
at her.
angry. That was so weird. I would have hated that.
Yeah, it's also one of those things that I think maybe if you feel good about you spend a lot of time together and you feel good about all of it, you can take it as a joke, but when it's just, like, cut into a scene that
Yeah.
we're seeing such a small bit of you, it's like, "Oh, no, he hates her."
I know, like, cooked, is that like a term they
He
use or
he
joke
loves to
about?
say
Yeah.
cooked, but he's usually using it to be like, they'll never make it, like, that couple's cooked,
Yeah.
as in they're done.
So she's cooked. Marissa's cooked.
Charming. He also does tell her that he would have a hard time living in her apartment because he has to be on the water, like it's a medical condition. He's like, "I
Yeah.
have to be there." He wants her to live in the lake house for a year so they could save up for a sick house and another jet ski.
Yeah.
He's like, "We're gonna buy, like, a bigger house on the water."
And, like, we're gonna have 2 jet skis.
Yeah, and hers will be, I guess, like, medium and pink or
Yeah,
something
like
because his is
Barbie
big and
pink.
black. And okay, she's like, "I could do it for a year, maybe. I could live there for a year
But doesn't he
tops."
mention to, like, his homeless friend who will still be living
Yeah,
with
I
them?
don't know what that is about. He keeps
Yeah.
making these comments about it, but I don't know what he's actually talking
Yeah.
about. The night ends with a massage that he gives her while his cat sits next to her, and he's like, "This is perfect. Everyone I love is here."
Yeah,
But
she's
she's like,
allergic to cats, so
yeah, she's like, "I'm not really a cat
yeah,
person,
she's gonna
but
break out in
okay."
hives with the massage oil and the cat fur.
Oh, oily hives. What a what a romantic experience. Nikki makes dinner for Shawn, and this is the turning point.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
when we first see them doing better. He seems happy, she seems happy. They sit down and eat dinner, and he asks how he can show up for her with the group at group therapy. She says she wants to be able to step back and have him lead or represent them publicly in a way that respects her.
Mm.
Like, clearly has this idea that, like, if she were in a couple, she could kind of take a sort of secondary role in the public life. Like, he
Yeah,
would
represent them.
yeah, and I guess she's probably exhausted from
Yeah.
doing it all for years. But it's interesting, like, it kind of brings me back to a time and, like, some of these things mean different things to women from different, backgrounds because they come to feminism through different histories and like the history of Black women with marriage and like that sort of like middle to upper class lifestyles that they were kind of prevented from having access to that for many many years. And so there's an aspiration to have that kind of traditional looking marriage where the
Mhm.
man kind of is the head of the household and represents them publicly, and she's able to have more of a traditional looking role as a wife. Um, and especially as someone who's like 46 and has been building her career for a long time and being on her own, I can see why that would feel like so unattainable and so important
Mhm.
to be part of that kind of couple. And he's like, I hear you. I get
Mhm.
that. Absolutely. She says that even when dating, she's like, you're often still kind of focused on yourself at first. You're not really a team, but they can't be self centered now because they are committed, but they both have big egos. And he says he's used his ego to get into positions of power he wasn't ready for. And she says that she relates as a Black woman in professional spaces because she's needed to defend and prove herself and be assertive. And she says, I think we've like developed skills that really serve us at work, but they are not serving us
At
in our
home.
relationship at
Mhm.
home. Yeah. And I was like, I actually think that like you could see all this as a performance that they're doing to like clean up their image and get back on track. But that all seems extremely accurate to me.
Yes. I was, like, very impressed with them in this moment.
Yeah.
They were really recognizing, like, "Oh, maybe this is our problem. This is, like, the problem point that keeps, triggering these arguments, is that we're in these power positions at work where we're like the lead or trying to, and then you're a single person for all these years, like taking care of yourself. So when the two of you come together, maybe you just gotta let go. Like she says, maybe I don't have to be the boss at home. I can be the boss at work and you could be the boss at home.
But and then at the same time, like, she adjusts his napkin and he's like, You're the boss. Like, I'll let you adjust my napkin. Like, I can relinquish that title." And she's like, "Yeah, you're safe. I got you." Like, we can both kind of take some leadership in the home without being threatened because this is a partnership. It's
Yeah,
not like a rat race at the office. I was left feeling kind of hopeful because I was like, I think they are actually identifying their real struggles in these relationships. And it's allowing them to like relate to each other and hear each other instead of being locked in mortal
combative. Yeah.
combat.
Oh God.
um, Devin attends one of Caitlin's cycle classes. I was like, I forgot she has a million
Yeah.
jobs. Like her hobby is having a job.
Like so many jobs. Her
She's like
cycle
the
class looked great though. I was like, you know what? I think she's a good teacher.
she really brings the energy. I was like,
Yeah,
this is where the energy is going. It's going to her
to
cycle
her cycle
class.
class.
I love that she's like the opposite of Ken in the Barbie movie, where his job is beach and her hobby is job.
Job,
Uh,
job, job.
but yeah, she's really like getting everyone hyped up. Devin's getting into it. And afterward, they get food with her friends, and her friends confirm that she is very independent and really needs her space. And one of her friends is like, I'm the same. I literally just spent a month away from my husband, and then he told me he wanted to stay in Vegas for longer. And I was like, great. And
I
Devin looks really uncomfortable.
I was a little concerned. I was like, "Really?
Have you been watching In the City?
No."
There one of the, people on the show at the beginning is explaining her relationship with her husband, and she's like, "I was so mad at him for something that I went on a trip for, like, 3 days, and he didn't notice I was gone."
Oh
And I was
my.
like,
You're like, yeah, I don't know if listen, it's great to have like a weekend away or like a few days, but like if my husband wanted to stay in Vegas for months at a time, I'd be like, maybe we shouldn't be together."
Maybe it's time for us to be apart, but, at the same time, like, it's different for me now because we have kids, and
Yeah,
so
you can't
when
leave
my
me.
husband leaves, I'm like, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "The bathroom." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, you're not."
When are you coming back?
And I'm like, "Find an empty bottle, okay?" But before we had kids, he would be gone a lot, especially during busy season, like, at work for him, there'd be a lot of travel, and I was like, "Great, I get my
Yeah,
space." Then he comes back, and I'm like, "I missed you," it's
exactly.
nice.
But now you're like, you can't leave
No,
me alone
you
with
can't
these
leave.
children.
Stay, I'll do anything. But I think that what this made me think is, like, it's okay to be either way, and, like, Caitlyn clearly wants a marriage like her friends, where she
Mm,
still has a ton of independence and space to herself, and they come together, and they have a home together, and they have time together, but she will never feel, like, restricted
yeah.
by her partner's needs for togetherness, and that's not what Devin wants.
No, Devin wants her, like, on the road with him while he's, like, in season.
Right. I
Yeah.
think that was the whole point of her wanting to be with someone with a remote job is so he could have, like, a little road groupie, and I totally get that, and some women would be happy to be in that
Mhm.
relationship, but it's not Caitlyn.
No.
She's probably like, "Great, you're gonna be on the road for rugby, so I'll get
I'll
some
just be here.
space." Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah. The friends ask about his favorite trait of Caitlyn's, and he says her loyalty and how she shows up for her friends because it shows she can show up if she really wants to.
Yeah. Uh,
Loaded.
yeah, this friend group was, you know, they have each other's backs, but they're all very similar. I feel like they all
Yeah.
like their independence. They like
Mhm.
to be with their girlfriends. They don't like to be with their husbands and or
Yeah.
boyfriends.
I think that, like, he's looking at them and he's like, "Well, she likes her friends, so I guess she could like me one day and wanna spend time with me." But how often is she with her friends,
Yeah.
Devin?
Yeah.
Probably not 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
As soon as he leaves, like, to go to the bathroom or something, her friends tell her that Devin should fix his hair, and they make fun of his hair.
Yeah, and she actually kind of defends him in this moment. She doesn't say anything about it. She's just like, "Oh, no," like she thinks he's attractive.
Yeah, she's like, "And he likes to bleach it for rugby
Yeah.
season."
Yeah.
And her friend is like, "That's fun when you're 17, but we're adults." Friend of Caitlin, you never outgrow a fun hair color,
No.
ever. There's such a small window when it's appropriate. Because if I let my six-year-old bleach his hair, you would say he's too young.
Yeah,
No, he's
exactly.
29, he's too old.
He's too old. So what's the secret? When can
When's
he
the
do
right
it?
time for a bleached faux hawk, okay? Let them live. My son has been talking about how he wants to color his hair like Weston McKennie from the
Oh
U.S.
my
men's
god, I
national
love
team when he
it.
grows up, and I'm like, I love that.
Listen, anytime my girls are out and they see someone with colored hair, they lose it. They're like,
It's
"We
so
love
fun.
your hair." "Mommy, can I do that?" I'm like, "You can do whatever you want
You absolutely,
when you
sweetie.
grow up."
When you're 17 and no older and no younger. So yeah, I didn't get the best vibe from her friends here because what a small dumb thing to pick
Yeah.
on her spouse about the minute he leaves. I don't think that's very productive. And I don't know if they're going to be supporting Caitlin in like meeting him halfway here, but I don't know if she even should because they're so different.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're
Mhm.
both going to be miserable.
Yeah. It's not gonna really work.
Yeah. Michelle and Cam hang out at home, and she tells him that she gets the Sunday blues every Sunday since it was raining once when she was a child.
In kindergarten she said she was 5,
Yeah,
and
she's
she
like, "I think
remembers
it
it
was that."
raining, and it was a Sunday, and she goes, "Ever since then."
Yeah.
I go, "It's
I
not work on Monday morning, because
no.
that's what
She's like,
gets
"No,
me."
it was the rain that one Sunday." He's about to start heading back to Portland during the week for coaching, and so they're really starting to think about how that's gonna affect their relationship and what the
Mhm.
path forward is gonna be. Nick and Courtney hit the road to meet her family. They live in Oregon, like around Portland, I think.
Yeah.
They keep talking about Oregon. He says, "Let's boogie." And Courtney
Oh my
immediately is like,
gosh.
"That gives me the ick." Because
Because
my
my
grandma used to
grandma
say.
like, my grandma used to say, so, ugh.
What doesn't give you the
I know,
ick,
I'm like,
Courtney?
does anything make you happy?
Yeah, that would be a shorter list at this point. Then she warns him that he has to have a thick skin to be around her family because they might grill him. I was like, "Sweetie, he lives with you."
Yeah, I'm like,
Of course he does.
yeah, I think he's good.
I don't think there's anything that your family can say that would hurt him more than the
What have
things
you
he
have
said.
said to him?
He just said a totally innocuous thing, and you're like, "That gives me the ick. You're like my grandma."
But by the way, my family is gonna be mean.
Ah. She asks how important it is for him to live near his family, and he says it's not. She looks pensive. She asks if he'd ever live in Oregon, and he says no. She looks even more pensive, even a little put off, and asks why, and he says the weather. Is the weather super different?
Different than Seattle, like rainy Seattle?
I'm exposing my own ignorance of the PNW right now because
My
I have no
mother-in-law lives in
idea.
Seattle,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. It's a little, like, overcast sometimes, but I've also been there and it's been sunny. So I've never been to Portland proper, but I
Yeah.
have been up to, like, Victoria, like, BC, and it all seems very lovely. I don't think it's, like, s extra rainy, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna need someone
yeah, we're
to
gonna need someone,
weigh in who's from this area because I was thrown by this. I'm like, "They're next to each other."
aren't they the same climate?
But he's like, "No, I could never live in Oregon because of the weather." And Courtney says, "Well, I don't like Oregon that much, but if we started a family, I would 1000% wanna move to Oregon to be closer to my family." They're both clearly pretty freaked out because 'cause they're like, "Oh, this could be a deal breaker." Which they should both be taking as a blessing because neither
Yeah.
of them wants to be in this
I'm like,
relationship.
yeah, I think Nick seemed more into the lollipop he was sucking than Courtney.
He's like, "I'm gonna give the shortest answers possible so I can get this Tootsie Roll
He's like,
Pop back in
"Mhm,
my mouth."
mhm, yep,
He's like,
nope,
"I'm
don't
so
like."
close to finding out how many licks get me to the center of this Tootsie Roll Pop." That's priority number 1. Number 2, do we wanna live in the same
Yeah.
place?
No, cool. Let's call it.
When they arrive at Courtney's family's home, this is when she tells him they can't hold hands when they knock
Mm,
because they'll make fun of us. Then they head inside, and Courtney jumps on her sister Brooke like a koala.
yeah.
And I think Nick is pretty taken aback by this. Like, he's like, oh, so she does act like this with some
Yeah.
people.
Oh, you're like, "Well, we can't hold hands, but you can, like, jump up, like, bachelor style into your
I
sister's
know.
arms."
She does a running hug jump. And he meets Brooke's boyfriend, who is also named Nick. And her boyfriend makes a little comment. I think it was him about how he thought Courtney's Nick would be bigger.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's pretty
He's pretty tall
big. Like he's
and
like
taller than
tall,
you.
buff. I like their obsession with like the physical
Mhm.
form, I thought was a little. I was like, even Nick doesn't pass muster.
Yeah, I'm like, "What?" He looks fine to me.
Courtney tells her sister to grill Nick and even gives her a cheat sheet of what to ask him about, like how he won't move to Oregon no
I'm like,
matter
"You
what.
just spoke about that, like, 2 seconds ago, the Oregon thing. You had never brought it up before."
This was crazy to me. I was like, "Do you know that you're being filmed right now?" Like giving her a list of weak points
Instead
to
of like,
probe him
yeah, this
on.
is when you know it's bad. You're not saying anything good about this man, but you're just like, "Please grill him so that I feel validated in my feelings of distaste for him."
Yes. She says that she's working on putting her emotions into the relationship, but there has to be depth. She says she's a slow burn, and her sister laughs. She says they're both positive people and nothing's wrong, and her sister laughs again.
Oh god.
She tells her sister that she doesn't know what she thinks and she needs her family to decide whether they like him because if they don't like him, she won't. It's like she is dying for someone to tell her to call it.
Yeah.
Her sister seems like the way that her sister keeps reacting with laughter, I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I don't get their dynamic. She was like, "I can't wait to see my sister," but then I'm like,
Yeah. I
"What?
do feel like
Why?"
maybe this is related to the like they'll make fun of us if we're holding hands thing. Like that when she talks about the serious side of a relationship, her sister just like instinctively laughs.
Yeah,
Like
or she's just, like, confused by her sister, like, by Courtney's behavior, like,
that is
that's
also
what kinda what
possible.
I was sensing, like, why are you being like this? Like, why are we you know? When he's
Yeah.
standing right here too, he's, like,
Ugh, it's
directly
so
next to
weird.
them.
So they all have dinner. Um, and Nick says he does want kids with the right person. And Courtney says then she would definitely want to move back to Oregon. Meanwhile, her mom asks her for a knife, and Courtney hands her a steak knife, sharp point first, across Nick's lap.
Yeah.
And Nick is like, that's a crazy way to hand a knife.
That's like another one of his little comments, like,
Yeah.
crazy, great wild comment.
Wild. Exactly. He's like, whoa. He's
Wild
like,
knife
I
toss.
I would be open to Oregon, okay? Like he's like she's gonna stab him. It is an I was like, did you go to kindergarten? Did no one ever teach you not to hand anything sharp point first? Like you're
Yeah.
trying to like poke your mom through the
Oh my
hand.
god.
Her mom says that Courtney is rigid, but once you break through it, there's a different side. Nick excuses himself to use the bathroom, and immediately Courtney says, let's talk shit about Nick.
Yeah.
This is another situation where I think she thinks she's being like funny or self deprecating, but what she's saying is, Nick's not one of us and
Yeah.
he's not as good as us.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Let's
badly
talk
about
badly
him.
about him.
And that's the joke.
The minute he leaves the table, the person you're married to, who is supposed to be like, you're supposed to be their
Yeah.
number one hype woman.
Right. And it's not a joke if it's true. Like, you
Yeah.
do want to talk shit about
You
Nick.
do. You want to talk shit more than anybody else. Like the family's
Yeah.
like, he's great. Like, I don't know what you want us to say.
Right. There's actually nothing wrong with him. It's just that you don't like
Like
him.
him.
And her sister says that Courtney is just trying to find red flags and icks because she doesn't want to stay in the relationship. Courtney didn't get the answer she wants, so she tells the camera that they aren't with him 24/7, and maybe they aren't asking the hard questions. So maybe she's right. Right about what?
Yeah, like, I just don't understand why she's so anti-Nick. Like, she
I
just
is she maybe she's, like, incapable of acknowledging that she just, like, isn't feeling someone outside of him being at fault in some way?
yeah, or does she feel like the need that she needs to stick it out because
Yeah.
of the show and the structure and
It's exhausting. Let's get to episode 9. We start with Mecca taking Belle Jolie to work, to clean porta potties, and he's clearly a little insecure about showing her this, but she's into it. She's like, "I'm proud of your work. Your uniform is a turn on. I'm really impressed, but I don't wanna help." And Mecca's like, "You're helping."
yeah, you're doing it.
And they go to a dog park, and he's teasing her because she has on khaki leggings and riding boots, and she looks like an equestrian. And I was
She
like,
did.
"Why did you have her wear khaki pants to clean porta potties?"
Yeah,
I
let's
would
wear, like, poop brown.
what are your poopiest brown leggings? Let's wear those. Black, you know?
Black, just something that doesn't show porta potty excess.
But she does end up getting in there and helping with double bagged gloves. And he tells the camera that things have changed a lot since they had sex. A producer asks if he caught serious feelings, and he's like, I wouldn't say that. That means like close to being in love. That's too much, but like definitely strong feelings." He's developing his own bachelor style,
Yeah,
like stepping stones. He's like, there's feelings, strong feelings. Way up here is serious feelings,
yeah,
and then in love. This is a family business, and so he takes her to meet his grandmother, who runs the admin. I wasn't quite clear on like whether she is the sole proprietor or not, because she says something like, "Oh, if Mecca inherited the business, you would be the new me,
mhm,
like handling
yeah,
all this." But it's very sweet. Like, she seems really welcoming to Belle, and she's very proud of the business. She's like, "This is the only Black owned porta potty business in the PNW. It's very lucrative. We'd love to leave it to someone in the family." And
yeah.
Belle's like, "Absolutely. I love
I was
it."
also very into this because when will you ever see a porta potty be cleaned unless I'm
I
married at
know.
first sight,
I know. I
right?
was like, they do clean
They
them.
do clean them. They pump them
Honestly,
out, they scrub them.
I love
Someone's
that.
gotta do it.
Someone does
I
have
was
to do
very
it.
interested. It was like hard jobs or something.
I know. I was very impressed.
Dirty jobs.
As someone who sometimes has to take small children into porta potties, to me, it's one of the most important jobs in the entire world.
Yeah.
Um, Adam and Marissa are getting ready for group therapy, and he is wearing what I like to think of as a very Dan Flashes shirt. Very, very lively pattern,
Yeah, a
bold
little
colors.
metallic shimmer in
Yeah.
there.
It's a very complicated
Very
pattern.
sheer.
And he still has the thrift store tag on.
Yep.
And he's like, "Yeah, I like to leave it on because it gives it like a thrifty vibe or
It's like,
something."
but you got it at a thrift store. That's thrifty vibe-ish enough.
It's so performative. It's
Yeah.
so like I'm the kind of guy who buys wild shirts at thrift stores. It's
Yes.
ugh. He tells Marissa he's only ever done solo therapy, and it helped him break up with all 3 of his girlfriends. And then it becomes a little joke that's like, "Oh, if you ever start going to therapy, I should get worried." She asks if he's going to take group therapy seriously, and she's laughing in this way that's like, "Of course he won't."
Yeah.
And he deadpans like, "Oh, I'm taking it all very seriously. I'm gonna put it all out there full send."
Yeah, he's like, if I go to therapy, you're done.
I was like, everything here is like a joke, but it seems like there's a lot of serious things underneath. Like, you've broken up with 3 girlfriends after doing therapy about it. Like, what was going on there?
But
And
he's just
like,
like, "Yeah, the vibe's dead."
yeah, I needed my therapist to tell me the vibe's dead.
Yeah.
And then with the group therapy, is the joke that they're vibing so well that there's nothing to take seriously, or is the joke that they're just like unserious people and
Yeah,
they're
listen,
obviously not going to be serious?
these 2, I don't know what's serious and what's not here. I don't know,
Ugh,
like, what's
the
happening.
definition of an unserious person. It's time for the session, and all 7 of the couples are going to be on the couch with the experts. Adam walks in, not only wearing his thrift store shirt, he has fully unbuttoned it. and it's, like, dangling loosely, showing off his entire abdomen.
It's just absolutely bonkers.
I was like, "This is so inappropriate." Like, you're essentially at a doctor's appointment.
It's just, like, jokey. It's just, like, too
Right.
much. Like, it's just kind of and how would I don't know. Why would Marissa, like I guess she thinks it's funny?
She's
I'd
just
be like,
along
"Button your
she's
shirt." Like
the only reason they seem to be working so well is because she is just down to follow his vibe. She's like, "If
Mm,
you're not taking it seriously, I'm not taking it seriously."
yeah, I don't know.
And this was just, like, a step too far.
For
I was like
Paul.
for Paul and Dr. Lisa, I was but, like, you see some of the other faces when they walk in, people are like,
What? Yeah.
"What?"
And
It's
then he buttons it, like, once he gets in there, he,
when he
like,
sees their
walks in,
reaction.
and then he buttons it. It's like,
Yeah, it's like,
"This
"Oh, I
man
forgot, like, oh, I guess I'll just, like, button this," and they're like, "Yeah,
my abs just, like,
button your
rip the
shirt."
buttons open."
Paul starts with Marissa and Adam, and specifically Adam's attire. And Adam deadpans that, "Oh, it was super hot outside. I was, like, climbing the wall or something." And Paul stops him and is like, "See, that's the kind of stuff we're not gonna do tonight."
Yeah.
I was like, "Get him, Paul."
Get him, Paul.
Paul's like, "As the experiment has gone on, things should get more serious, but you've been doing more deflecting through humor and through your" I'm gonna say it, "your dumb clothes." Paul didn't say that. Uh, Paul says, "Through your
Your
attire."
attire.
Adam says he's not deflecting, he's just a silly guy, which is funny because like, he's not
You're
silly.
not silly. The moment we met you, you were, like, playing piano and
Even when you're being silly, it's comes across very much as the kind of guy who took pickup artist classes because your personality was so dry that it was blocking you from getting dates, and you went to the pickup artist classes, and they were like, "Wear a goofy outfit to, like, break the ice," like, get a sort of, like, conversation piece hobby that you can talk
yeah.
about, like, make this kind of joke. It's like he's assuming a goofiness to sort of ameliorate what a dry personality he actually has.
Yes, he, like, wants to be elected class clown
Yeah.
by all of these fellow contestants.
He's doing his absolute best. Paul says, "Well, you have 4 weeks to make a decision about marriage. You need to be trying to get vulnerable, get deep." He asked Marissa about the last deep conversation they had, and she's like, never? We've never had one of those." She has all this trauma with her dad, and she's like, "We've only spoken about it on a surface level." And the experts are horrified. So they're like, "You need to each share something real with each other immediately."
Yeah, like, in front of everybody.
Right.
Take this moment to share your deepest thoughts in front of all the couples.
Please share with the class. And Marissa cries and talks about what a terrible relationship she has with her dad, that he was never supportive. Her parents stayed married for the kids for way too long. And her dad just has never gotten the mental health help that he has needed to be a better parent. And so they don't have a relationship. And it's very emotional. And then Adam shares that he was cheated on in 2 of his long-term relationships, and he decided to stay for a long time, and it really fucked him up. And I was like, "Oh, this is actually putting therapy helped me dump my girlfriends into context that, like,
Mhm.
we could have gotten before, but you were completely playing it as a joke."
Yeah.
Dr. Lisa is so proud. But Marissa's still emotional, talking about, like, how hard it is to talk about her dad, and Adam jokes, "You gonna make my girl cry like that, bro?" And Paul's like, "See how you just, in a loving way, with a
Mhm.
loving intent, you deflected through humor away
Yeah.
from her emotional moment instead of just being there with her." Sometimes I think they're a little hard on people who do get jokey, and like that can be authentic. That can be part of your personality. But I appreciated here that he was dialing in on like sometimes deflecting with humor takes you away from a more important, deeper conversation that you do need to
Yes. Or
have.
just a connective moment. Like, here
Yeah.
she is crying right next to you. Maybe put your arm around her and make sure that she's okay instead of being like, "Bro, this is your fault."
Yeah. Cameron and Michelle go next and talk about their communication. And Marissa tells the camera she wishes Adam had the maturity Cameron has. Like, she always acts like everything is totally fine with her and Adam. But
But she wants something deeper too. I feel like she's
yeah,
attracted to him and she thinks he's fun, But, of course, you can look at someone like Cameron and see, like, they're actually really connecting, like
Right. She's going with Adam's flow and it's fun and easy, but she's like, if I were really thinking about what I want more ability to have those
Mhm,
conversations too. And that's where I don't think Marissa is taking this seriously. It's like you can't decide who you want to be with forever by just chilling and vibing along. If you want more, you have to take the initiative to ask for that in your relationship.
mhm.
Michelle brings up how they talked about finances and how they worked through that conversation. He loves how successful she is. He's not emasculated at all. And she says she had been equating money with drive, but she sees that he's very hardworking and driven. And that can be frustrating. There's so many careers where drive and ambition do not bring you much money.
Yeah.
And like working adjacent to the arts and journalism, I'm like, I know how hardworking and driven you can be and like
And
barely
make
be able
no
to afford
money.
rent. So,
Here we are.
yeah. They also, for some reason, volunteer the information that they had sex. And
Yeah.
Dr. Lee says, like, that's so nice.
I know Cameron was the one, right, to really, like, share it, and I
It
was
seems like he was just like,
surprised. I thought he
yeah,
was a more private person.
he's like clearly like bursting to share like their accomplishment. Courtney and Nick go next, and Dr. Lisa asks Courtney about her behavior at the dinner party, like turning away from Nick and the way she spoke about him. And suddenly, Courtney gets very emotional and weepy, saying she just has to feel safe and that the physical will come when she's ready. I was a little bit frustrated here that, like, it does feel like she's deflecting a little bit by getting emotional. And I was like,
Mhm.
what about Nick?
Yeah.
Um, and the way that you treat him. Like, it's not about when will you feel safe for the physical to come. It's like, why did you treat him that way
No,
at the
also, like,
party?
why do you think the physical is just gonna come for you when you
Mhm.
haven't even asked Nick how he feels about being
Right.
physical with you? Just because he's a guy with a dick, she thinks, "Oh,
Right.
well, he clearly wants to jump my bones," you know? But
Right.
actually, I don't think he's feeling that towards you. But nobody ever addresses his feelings,
There is an
especially her.
assumption, yeah,
Yeah.
that he wants to be, like, doing it right away. And that's yeah, that's blocking her from actually getting curious and getting to know him. Dr. Lisa asks Courtney why she links safety and intimacy so closely. And Courtney says she has had bad experiences with sex, as we know. And Adam assures Courtney that Nick's vibes are immaculate and he's definitely a good guy. And I was
Mhm.
like, thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
This is like the first, I think, of many situations where clearly they're all encouraged to chime in on each
Yeah.
other's relationships. And we only see some of these commentaries. But I was like, "Why is Adam saying something here? Like, what does he know about how Nick shows up in their relationship?"
They were definitely like, "Well, Courtney thinks Adam's hot, so whatever Adam says, maybe she'll be like, oh, well, if he thinks his vibes are immaculate, then he must be immaculate.'"
That's a good reason to have sex too, is because the guy you have a crush on says that you should have sex with another guy. Dr. Lisa asked Nick about his fears and vulnerabilities. He says he shows up so shiny and polished that she doesn't know much about him. And he says he hasn't done enough deep thinking to know his own fears and vulnerabilities.
I love it. Yeah, she's like, "I call bullshit."
I was like, Nick, come on. Are you all surface or is there something
Well,
underneath?
truly, like what I said earlier, we really don't know who Nick is, like
Yeah. After many seasons,
mhm.
Paul has Nick tell Courtney something important for her to know about him in the moment. And Nick is at a loss and he keeps saying, like, oh, I need time to think of something good. And Paul says, look, you are on some reality shows. We know you probably want to self edit, but that's not what this is. We want you to just get vulnerable right now. Just tap into that. Don't worry about how it lands. And finally, Nick says he's more nervous about being judged for his awkward, goofy side. And so he presents a more polished front. And for some reason here, Michelle's like, your friends are goofy. And I love that. And she's
Yeah.
like, we share
We
friends.
share
It's like,
friends.
Michelle,
I was like, "Wait, what?"
has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, but I do here I was just like, "Nick, I think people would, like, enjoy you more if you were just your goofy self."
Right.
Most of us are goofy and weird. Like, we
Yeah.
all try to put on a nice polished front, but everybody has their quirks. embrace them. Also with Courtney telling you, like, she kinda wants you to be more goofy. So why
Well,
aren't you showing that more?
and
But
also, this is recycled. Like, he's told her this before.
yes.
They've had
And
this
that's your
exact
deepest thing
conversation.
that you could I mean, I get the pressure too of, like, being in the group and Paul's like, "Come on, just, like, be vulnerable." Like, I'd be sweating in that moment, but also can't we think
Right.
of something a little more than just like,
You know
"I'm
what, Nick?
goofy."
We were wrong. Think of something better. Come
Think of
back when you're
something
ready with
better.
something better. Uh, and then Courtney's like, I love the goofiness, but you're so polished. I don't feel like I really know you. And it's keeping things platonic. Felipe asks why they're single. And Courtney reveals that Nick's answer to this question was that there are 6 boxes, like funny, good looking, smart, etc. And no one has had all of them. And I was like, oh, interesting
Yeah.
way to approach dating. Um, she's like, I feel like that's a polished answer. And it is I think it is like, cause it's very neat and like not a messy, it's very much like, obviously there are these boxes you want someone to check off. And
Yeah.
I've never met someone who has all the boxes, but it doesn't really speak to any real emotional experience that you have
Yeah.
in dating.
I feel like there's much more to Nick. He mentioned a bit with his family and wanting to be like, the smart, perfect
Mm,
student. I think there's more there to like why he's so polished or why he puts out like this.
yeah.
But yeah, I
Maybe
don't know if
one
I'd want to be
day.
a checkbox or a
I
checklist for
know.
someone. But
Maybe one day we'll find out what's going on underneath that square, stubbly jaw. Felipe and Tori are next, and Felipe is clearly at this point in a pretty advanced stage of spinning out over what a
hmm
huge commitment he made.
yeah.
He says he thought he had committed, but he's realized that he needs to commit every day. Can that be right? Every single day? I'm like, this is one of the most common things people say about marriage.
Oh my god. He's like, I
This
liked
is
it for the first few weeks because she's hot and all, but like, wait, I have to stick with it.
Ugh. I'm like, you got married. You've never heard you have to choose each other every day. You've
Yeah.
never heard you have to commit every day. He says that he's in a relationship with nothing wrong and he keeps looking for problems. He's worried about the passion going away. This is where Felipe kind of clicked for me. I
hmm
was like, he does not want to be married,
No.
but he thought that he could like change himself into the kind of son his mother wants him to be by
Yes.
just holding his nose and doing it. And then he would sort of be transformed by marriage into the kind of person who can be married.
Yeah. And now he's starting to realize, can't do it. Can't do it.
Right? He's like, oh no, I'm still the same person who wants to just like ask that girl in the short skirt out on a date. And
Yeah.
then
It's like,
like,
wait, I can't stay
I
late at my
can't.
restaurant to just give girls the cheesecake as a freebie. And then
Yeah.
hopefully go out to the clubs till 4 a.m. Like I haven't been to a club in weeks.
It's like I'm getting the sweats. I'm getting the club withdrawal sweats. I relate to him a little bit because I see a lot of people in my life who are very much like, when will I be sure enough to get married, to have kids? And I was always like, I feel like I just need to make the commitment or I'll
hmm
never do it. And then afterwards, I can get a little bit like, what did I do?
hmm
But I think he is even more that way than I am. He is less prepared. He has no idea what he got himself into. He thought marriage would just
No.
like alchemically change his brain
Yeah, he was
chemistry.
like, "Once I said yes, I will be a new person without doing any of the work."
Yeah, I'm like, nope, you still have to become that guy. Dr. Lisa tries to explain to him that often people think that when they lose the butterflies in a relationship, the love is over, but it's really just their nervous system resetting to baseline. Like, this is your normal, you're safe and relaxed here. You're not feeling anxious around your partner. And Tori admits it's scary to hear that Felipe is always chasing the dopamine high from one relationship to the next, but she gets it because she is also an avoidant. Then we see Devin telling the camera that he relates to Tori. He thinks Caitlyn also signed up expecting things to be one way, and instead she's been challenged, and it's sort of an oh shit moment. I think that Caitlyn is a little different from
Mm,
Felipe because I think that Felipe doesn't want to be married to anyone. And I think Caitlyn wants to be married to someone very different from Devin.
exactly. Felipe's just like, "Oh, crap, I liked my bachelor lifestyle."
Yeah.
Caitlin's like, I would like a relationship. I would just like it with
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't need to be with me 24/7."
Yeah, I like a relationship with someone who's just, like, there sometimes and
Yeah,
other times he's in Vegas.
exactly.
Uh, Paul tells Felipe that he thrives in uncertainty. That's probably why he loves managing a restaurant. But it can be a curse because he fears the state of certainty, like, he fears the calm that
Mhm.
comes with that. And he tells Felipe that the best remedy is to get very curious about Tori and think of her as someone that he can learn, like, endless things about. And instead of, like, just sort of chasing the next new exciting thing, he can find, like, so much in this one person. I thought that was lovely advice.
Yeah, I was like, "Maybe I'm gonna go ask my husband a question about."
Yeah,
But
sometimes
it's
periodically I'll be
true.
like, we should do those, the questions that you asked. It was like in the New York Times like 10 years ago, like the questions that the therapists had couples ask each
Yes.
other to fall in love. Sometimes we'll just do that. Or like when we were dating, we would.
Yeah,
It was
oh, I
fun.
should do that
It
because
was
it's
fun.
true, like, you grow together, but you
Yeah.
grow separately, and it's good to check in and be like, "Hey, what are you up to?" Like,
Yeah.
what's going on in your brain?"
And you can be, like, developing scripts in your head about each other. Even,
Yeah.
like, he's already getting bored of Tori, you can tell, like, it's so early, and it's like, you barely know this person.
Yeah, how are you
Like,
bored already?
Paul asked Tori about how she distanced herself from Felipe after intimacy, and she says she couldn't sleep, she was panicking, she was wondering if the Felipe she knows is a facade. And he asked why she couldn't just talk to Felipe. And she says normally when she's having a difficult feeling like that panic, she handles it independently. And Paul suggests that they use these moments to test their partner
Hmm.
and see how they respond and see if they feel safer afterward and they can keep going deeper. Like he's literally like coaching them on how they like develop intimacy. He's like,
Yeah.
have you considered trying to see how they respond to an emotional moment?
Try it.
Try
Paul,
it.
he's giving great advice, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a fan so far. Mecca and Bella Jolie are next, and Dr. Lisa asks about their kissing homework. And Mecca says that they skipped the homework because they just did it.
They got the hall pass, you know?
And Dr. Lisa asks if Belle feels more desired. And Belle says she wasn't feeling not desired. And Dr. Lisa's like, I kind of feel like that was your whole thing, actually.
Yeah.
Paul says that he feels like Mecca has not yet chosen Belle and she's waiting for him to choose her back. And he's like, even though you did this process, you still have to choose each other. Dr. Lisa asks if he knows how to receive love, and he admits that he's not sure if he fits the script of someone who is loved.
Mm.
Dr. Lisa's diagnosis is that she's not sure if he's ever been made to feel safe by a woman. And she's worried he's going to block this connection because of that. And she is here to like make sure that he lets Belle in. And we know that Mecca's mom left when he was very young, and he was raised by his dad, who has his own
Yeah.
issues that it
Issues
seems like maybe
with
he's passing.
intimacy and relationships and just women in
Yeah.
general.
Like, it's interesting because Mecca seems so sweet-natured, but, like, to be raised by just a man and a man who talks about women the way that he does, that Logic does, even his own, like, new daughter-in-law, I feel like that's just this overlay on how he
Yeah.
approaches every
Yeah, I
situation.
feel like he wants to be a certain man, but because of how he was raised and who he grew up learning from, it's kinda, yeah, like this
Yeah.
facade that he can't seem to shed.
And I wonder if it taught him that, like, women are not people that you have real intimacy with or that you
Mhm.
really value too much because it just doesn't seem like
Or they can leave,
that
like,
was
his
yeah,
mom
or they
left,
can
so he
leave.
might be afraid of, like, falling hard or sharing, like, a bit of his life and who he is, and then for Bella Jolie to just up and leave him, so
Oh, yeah,
again,
there must be
they're
really
very
deep
yes.
abandonment issues,
So
yeah.
many, layers to their
Yeah.
relationship for sure.
And Belle has similar issues and it's like a similar history, and she is always the first to be like, "I understand you because my dad wasn't there." But not everyone, like, copes with that kind of trauma or experiences it in the same way, and she clearly brings a different sort of coping strategy to her trauma. Paul then asks about how they acted at the dinner and is like, the way you guys were at dinner, was that more performative? And is this more authentic? This doesn't seem like totally fair to me in the sense that, like, you can be authentically playful and jokey sometimes and also authentically
Yeah, I
serious.
didn't understand this. I was like, "Wait, what was wrong with them at dinner?" Like, I thought they were, like, semi-fine, like,
I almost feel like they're all talking about different things because Mecca
yeah.
says, "Well, I do think my demeanor was authentic, but maybe I was just, like, exaggerating it for the social setting." I think that is authentically how he acts in these settings, and that's fine. Like, he's the life of the party guy. But I think what some other people like Paul and Michelle then are saying is you weren't being genuine about how you feel about the relationship because you were like making a bit of a performance in talking about your relationship
Yeah.
instead of conveying what was actually going on between you. And I think that's what they're trying to say, but it's getting like mixed up because he's like, oh, when I was being fun, I thought people were laughing, we were having a good time. And now they're telling me that that was like fake.
Yeah, and then it's making it seem like he's just fake to Belle Jolie, but that's not
Right.
at all the case. Like, I think they actually really do like each other. I think he was like the dinner too is all the couples. The therapists weren't there, and it was like just the vibe. Maybe he was just being, yeah, more playful or trying to be funny or but I didn't understand the kind of takedown of Mecca during this session.
Yeah. I thought this was a little harsh. I Michelle pipes up and says that Mecca's been more authentic in this conversation. She saw him as being very performative at dinner. He was whiplashing from them being put on earth for each other to being not that attracted to Belle to being all over her. And Mecca's clearly really hurt. And at some point, he starts like not even really responding
Mhm.
or engaging. He just kind of is looking really kind of down. And I didn't love the way that Michelle presented this.
Yeah. I was also
I
like, "Who are you to talk?"
I know. But I can also see why she might say, like, if you're saying this and then that and then the other thing, it seems like you were not being genuine in conveying what your relationship is about. You were just kind of like saying things that you thought sounded good at different times.
Yeah, but I also think he's just figuring it out. Like
Yeah.
they don't really know each other. I think
Yeah.
like he's like, "Yeah, I'm into her," or maybe I'm not, or like, "Oh, what?" I don't think it was
Yeah.
like he was doing it on purpose.
Well, and I think there's a little bit of him being like, "Oh, we're so similar, like we click so much, but I don't know how attracted I am to her physically." Like
Yeah.
there are different components that are at different levels. I thought they were just like going a little hard because it has such a big personality in these moments, but that can be authentic. It just maybe isn't the most serious register to discuss
Mm.
your conversation, your relationship in. Courtney also weighs in and is like, "Oh, it must be so hard to be Belle when Mecca is so focused on his own challenges." And I was like, glass houses, girly.
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time you considered Nick's experience?
Just turn that mirror.
Devin does jump to Mecca's defense. He's like, it's hard to accept love. I get it, but like, we're all here for each other and to help each other and care for each other. So, like, everyone is really chiming in. And Belle says, she gets Mecca. She's there for him. Like, she clearly feels like they're going way too hard at
Yeah,
him.
she's annoyed. You
Yeah.
could tell she's sitting there like
Yeah.
confused too. And then I'm sure it's confusing. Like, is she thinking about like how he actually feels about her? Like,
Right.
she's getting in her head again after they just kind of like, they slept together. It's like,
Right.
I don't know. I thought it was weird. The whole,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand why everybody's attacking Mecca, but okay.
It was just a little much. The reaction shot after Courtney weighs in to Belle's reaction, she looks so irritated with
Yeah.
Courtney. Um,
Same.
it's like almost like they're all like, "Oh, this is what we're doing. Let's each get our version on the record." Nikki and Shawn are next, and Nikki says they've had a miraculous shift in energy since their session with Paul. 2 days in a row now, they have rated their relationship, and they have rated it at the top of the scale both times, like 10 and like 9.5.
Mm.
And they were able to talk and realize how much they have in common.
Everyone is very confused. They're like,
Yeah, Nick is like, "I feel like I missed, like, 10 chapters in your story, like, how is this the state of things?" I feel like we were talking about this before we started taping. Sometimes it all blurs together, but I get this because, like, I have done a session, either individual or couples therapy, where afterwards you're like, I aired so much shit out. I got some new coping strategies or communication strategies. We both got a new perspective on things. And now I'm on a high. I'm
yeah,
like,
we're
we
perfect.
fixed it. Like, this is incredible. It's like a new honeymoon. And that's a real effect, I think, of having like some really effective therapy. But, like, 10 out of 10 and you're
Yeah.
not sexually attracted to him yet, like,
Yeah. 2 to 10 is like a big leap, you know? He was a 7.5, so
yeah.
a 10 is a little closer, but 2, maybe a 5?
Yeah, I would think at least one of those points would have to be for sexual attraction,
Yeah.
so I'm capping you at a 9. Like, there's no way you feel better than a 9 in this marriage.
Yeah.
But they're feeling so good about the progress they've made. And Shawn says that Paul really opened his eyes by pointing out that in each situation, each conflict, you should be looking at whether you're both looking for closeness, if there's a power dynamic, like one of you wanting to win, and do they respect each other?
Mhm.
Are they showing respect? And he realized that in every conflict, he wasn't looking for closeness. He was looking to win and he was looking to be respected as a man.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's what came through. And that's why it was so frustrating that Nikki took all the shit in the group dinner for their dynamic.
Mhm.
Nikki has not been that different from him, I think. And she says she is also reflected on her tone. I think she probably was also looking for something other than closeness in
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
settings. And so they're like, yeah, this has really helped us have better conversations and we've realized how much we have in common. Michelle and Cam are not having it.
Me neither. I watched this and I was just like, "I don't even know," 'cause, the next episode, who knows? Maybe they'll just be fighting again,
Yeah.
but
They're on their post couple session high.
hi.
Like they feel like they have found the skeleton key that unlocks every
I feel like,
door.
again, if they rated it just a different number, I would have believed
Yeah.
them a little more, but now I'm just like, "Okay, guys,
Yeah. It's a little much. I think to me, I think that they have improved to the point that they are able to present a united front, and now that they're doing that, they wanna present the best united front
yeah,
possible. They both are clearly very image conscious, and they've talked
yes."
about this a lot, and so one way that he can show up for her the way that she wants is to do exactly this,
But
to
I
be
also
like,
just, yeah, I don't see the chemistry though, like, I
"No,
don't
there's no
see
chemistry."
there's no sexual chemistry.
No.
It's not gonna happen.
No, I think the best outcome for them at this point, from what we're seeing, is that they will end really amicably
Yeah,
and be
and be
friends.
friends, I could see them being friends for sure.
Yeah. Devin and Caitlin are next. Paul asks why Devin's light has been dimmed, and Devin says he thought everything would be great and she'd love bomb her and she'd love it.
Yeah.
But he had to take a step back because it pushed her away. And he's like, I just have to dim myself so she can receive what I'm giving her.
My faded light.
I mean, this is the problem. It's like I don't think either of them should have to suffer in a dynamic that
No.
makes them miserable. And to meet in the middle is so hard for both of them.
Yes, like, you guys maybe you're another couple that should probably just be friends because 'cause
Yeah.
you're just, like, sucking the life out of each other, basically.
No. Paul asks Caitlin if she sees Devin's light being diminished, and she says yes. But she clearly likes that. She's like, finally, my eyes are not burning
Yeah.
from the
I'm a
intense light.
I need yeah, I'm a cat, I need a dark corner to
Yeah.
hide in.
Paul says he loves how committed Devin is to the process, but he's worried that he's so committed that he's actually losing himself in the process. Caitlin says she needs a partner who grounds her, and Paul says, well, that's actually something you have to do for yourself,
Mm.
which is totally fair. But it's also fair to want to have a partner who is compatible with the kind of energy you want in your life.
Yes.
And she says, I have actually done that for myself. I used to have a very chaotic life and it came with a lot of anxiety. And I've worked really hard to create a calm space for myself. And I want that around me. And the energy he's bringing now, I like that better. I understand that you want him to maybe be more boisterous. And it's almost like they're talking about like thermostat settings. She's like,
I
"You
know.
like it at 85, but me personally, I like it at 72." I get that. And they're like, "He's a human.
Yeah. I just
We
see
want
him,
him
like,
to be the
outside
way
on
he
the
is."
trampoline just jumping. She's just like, "Can you jump a little softer?"
Ugh, I know. She's like, "Please take the energy
Get it
down a few
down.
notches, turning the dial." And Paul's like, "We just want him to be what he is what we
Mhm.
want." I hate this marriage so much because the result is that one of them is always being villainized for what makes them feel good in the relationship.
Exactly. No, because even Paul's kinda, like, standing up for Devin in this moment, but I'm like, "But let Caitlyn be who she is as well." Like,
Right.
she wants to be alone sometimes. She wants to, go do her own thing. Why does she have to change to make Devin better? And why does he have to change to fit what she needs? I think this marriage is probably just not going to work. That's what you should tell them, Paul.
I'm like, "Paul, you fucked up. You and
Yeah.
Dr. Lisa made a big mistake. They are not good for each other. They're making each other very unhappy. And now they both feel like something is wrong with them because their personality is not at all compatible with this other
Well, that's the
person."
added layer to the show is like the therapists are like, but wait, this is our experiment. We need these
This is our
couples to work.
creation. They're like, "Oh no, I've made a
We have to
monster."
fix it.
Ugh, I was like, "Caitlin, Devin is not a light with a dimmer switch. Devin, Caitlin is just never going to be your body pillow. Like,
Mhm.
it's time to find the person who is the level of brightness and cuddliness that you need." Paul says that love never diminishes or dims you. I'm like, "Yeah, so you paired him with the wrong fucking person.
Yeah.
Okay."
Yeah.
Caitlin is like, "I don't want that for him, but I want a calm space at home and to feel grounded because my life is very hectic. I have 15 jobs,
Yeah. She's like, I'm running from cycle bar to cycle bar. And then,
Yeah, to
yeah,
marketing,
to makeup. I don't.
decks, to makeup. Devin says, "Well, maybe we can find those things together by talking about your feelings of anxiety. And like, I can support that and we can do it together. It doesn't have to be like me being calm
Mhm.
for you." And they both promise to try.
It's also tough because Devin right now is like not working or he's not in season. So you can't
Right.
really get it. She can't get a sense of like what he'd be doing if he was, at a game every week or whatever. He's just been home,
Right.
like waiting for her. So,
And I fear that they are going to have different challenges then because, again, he wants a roadie and she wants space.
yeah. So it's just only going to get more
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah. Dr. Lisa ends by asking them all for their decision if this were decision day. Devin, Caitlin, Shawn, Nikki, Nick, Courtney, Beljalee, and Mecca all say undecided. Michelle, Cam, Tori, Felipe, Marissa, and Adam all say yes,
Did
would be
any
their
of these
answer.
surprise you?
Honestly, I was a little surprised that none of the couples were split.
Mm.
Like, I kind of thought that Beljalee and Mecca might have different answers, or Tori and Felipe, but they all kind of, which is good. It means they have like a shared understanding of how
Yes.
strong their relationship is. At least after having these conversations. Were you surprised by any of their answers?
No, I had a feeling Adam would say yes.
He's like, let's just
Because he's
full
like,
send
I'm a
it.
winner.
Let's full send this marriage.
I did think Belle Jolie would have said yes, but I'm not sure if Mecca said undecided first and then she followed
I think
suit.
she said it
She
first.
said it
I
first.
wrote them down in order of when they said it, but she definitely is responding in part to the fact that he is still a little tentative,
Yeah.
and she
But
wants to be wanted. Like it really affects her that she feels like he's not fully interested.
yeah, Michelle and Cam didn't surprise me though.
No, that
I
was the
Their end
most.
game.
I sort of thought that some of them might just say never, but they're
Yeah.
all still here.
Well,
So
Felipe, after saying, I don't know if I could do this marriage thing, and he's like a strong
yeah,
yes.
Felipe is like, I'm recommitting to the bachelor lifestyle. I'm
Yeah.
actually looking into polyamory. So they all head out, and in the car home, we have some telling conversations. Caitlin says she needs a good massage, and Devin keeps offering and saying he gives good ones. And she says, maybe I need one from someone who's not interested in me. And he's clearly really wounded. He's like, God forbid.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. The guy is trying.
And to me, I'm like, I'm a Caitlin. Like, there's nothing to me relaxing about the implicit expectation of sexual intimacy when
Yeah.
you just want to relax completely and have a massage. Getting one from your partner who wants to hook up
Yeah.
is a different thing.
Yeah.
You know, she's saying, like, I want like a medical grade
Great
massage.
massage. I want a deep tissue massage.
Right. I
And
don't want
he's
to
like,
feel
"Well,
like at
I'll
the
give you a
end.
great, yeah, inner thigh rub." Yeah.
Right, and even if he's giving her a good massage, it's just different to know that, like, he's there, he probably wants more,
Yeah.
and at the end, is there gonna be a little bit of a feeling of like, "Oh, I should give him a hand
Give
job
him
now or something." I
something.
don't
Yeah, yeah,
know, like,
yeah.
it just psychologically is different, and that's valid, but it's hard for them to bring such different needs and
Well, cause yeah,
expectations.
that's the thing. He's like that's what he wants. He wants someone to be like,
Yeah,
"I want you to give me a massage and be close to you." And she's like, "I wanna
right.
go into a locked room with a massage
Yeah,
therapist and be
right.
alone for 4
Well,
hours."
that's a way of her protecting her peace in some way or her boundaries. Like she likes the clear definition of that. And he wants to like pour into his person. He's like, I will feel good if even if I don't get anything out of it physically, what I get out of it is feeling like the satisfaction of
Mhm.
making my partner feel good.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to owe you anything. I don't want to feel any murkiness. I just want to go into a room and
Yeah.
get a massage and come out. And that those are such completely different mindsets about
Yeah.
how a relationship is built. Mecca and Belle Jolie discuss the accusations of performativity, and Belle says she doesn't mind it from the experts who are just trying to help them grow, but she questions the motives of the others. And Mecca says that it hurt in particular coming from Michelle.
Yeah.
I noticed he did not say Courtney,
No, cause yeah.
but he's like, I think Michelle is really authentic and a kind person. And so that really hurt for her to not see me as authentic.
Mhm.
And I do think that there is some like crossed wires here and some injudicious phrasing that is not allowing them to communicate fully what's going on here. Like I hope that they can all like eventually talk this out more deeply, but like just because you're being performative in a moment and you're deflecting like Adam was from the real deeper emotional core doesn't mean that you're an inauthentic person.
Yeah, and that's the whole point too is, like, they came after Mecca so strong, but nobody ever said anything but jokey about Adam, who is doing, like,
Right.
performative behavior the whole time. Like,
I
how do we
know.
know if he's genuine? Like, Mecca seems much more genuine to me than Adam does.
Yeah, I mean the experts were the only ones that we really saw come after Adam and we saw like a whole lineup of
Yeah.
people with nits to pick
Just because
at
they have
Mecca.
the most, like, physical chemistry is what the other couples see, is that Adam and Marissa have, like, their hands are all over each other, they're always kissing, they're always cuddling, like and some of them want
Yeah.
that. Like, some of the other guys are like, look what Adam has,"
Yeah.
you know?
I don't know. I'm actually warming more to Mecca during this batch of episodes. It feels like he's trying more to get over his like block and let go of his ego, his wounded ego that she
Mhm.
didn't want to kiss him the first night. Meanwhile, everyone else was like coming at him harder than ever. And I'm like, chill,
I know, that's how
let
I
him
felt.
live.
No, but I felt the same, and I'm glad to hear you did too, because I was, like,
Yeah.
very confused at the Mecca stuff, but
Yeah. And what's happening is that it's making Belle Jolie align with Mecca against everyone else. She's like,
yeah.
now it's us against the world.
Yeah,
They
and
don't get
she
us.
coulda went the other way, but she's sticking with him, so
Yeah. Michelle and Cam dissect some of the other couples a bit back home. And then they talk about how to make their geographical issues work. Like, will she get a remote job? Will he change careers? Like, they're definitely, like, putting a lot of thought into how these things will affect their dynamic. And it's a tough one, but it's like they both are showing a lot of openness to making a change they hadn't previously considered.
Mhm.
And that's why they're the A students. And
I
they're
know of
doing extra credit of criticizing other couples.
yeah, they're like, "See, we are allowed to tell you how this experiment works because look at us.
Look at us.
We got A plus plus."
I'm getting him to consider giving up basketball
I know,
coaching.
and
Like,
she's like, "Maybe I'll go remote." Who
yeah.
knew?
So that's where we leave our couples. And next batch of episodes from the preview looks absolutely unhinged. So I'm afraid. But we'll be back next week to discuss that next drop of episodes. And on that note, that's it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe to our channel.
Love to See It is a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon, Lee Blickley, and Emma Gray. Our production assistant is Tatiana Kinney-Smith, who also edits our video. This episode's audio was edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Haviv, and our art is by Aaron Nestor.
If you like the show, please follow us, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, and of course, tell all of your friends about our show.
If you want to get in touch, you can email the show at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
You can find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and Instagram at Claire and Emma Pod. You can find our newsletter, Rich Text, on Patreon at patreon.com/richtext.
I'm also on social media at LeeBZ.
And I'm on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey, Eric Donnelly, Peter Arriaga, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, and Hillary Schiff.
We'll be back soon with more Married at First Sight.
Can you keep up?